Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Aegis Guardians Week 3, bringing DZG Arcadia versus the Crimson Legionaries. Tonight, I'm joined by none other than Tony, going over by not Tony, because he's no longer in here. So it's just going to be me tonight. And so we're getting into the ban phase already, and for some reason, I don't see a ban now on the screen. I think there's a little bit of a hiccup on my client, refreshing that now, but it does look like we have Shen, Fiora, Vex, and Echo taken away. Third ban coming in for Crimson Legionaries is going to be the Janna. Now for them, DZG Arcadia, sorry, watching too much LPS, will now be looking for their third red ban here. So, a lot of potential options here. Jinx is still in that powerhouse, and we are into 12.4 now. New champion is disabled. Won't be seeing that. Jin Chao coming in for that third ban here now for Arcadia. So, first pick, it's going to be that Jinx. So, quick answer with the Ziggs makes 100% sense. If you're not able to really contest her in that that 80 carry department, bringing in that AP threat, 100% an option here. And now to see what Arcadia wants to kind of pair with that. Picking a support here wouldn't be terrible. You know what the 80 carry is. But instead, they're going to be potentially opting for this Viego here. Really strong power pick in the jungle will be able to offer them a lot of options if needed to take over this game. Those resets are absolutely insane, and it will be the Viego login. Kind of want to dial back here. Chisa on the side of DZG Arcadia has been one of the stronger, more consistent members of the team. Definitely taking away that Shen from him and a lot of the power options and map rotation ability for the side of DZG Arcadia is very well played from Crimson Legionaries. And they must feel really confident here in their bot lane, going for the 1-2 pick. The blue 1, blue 2 pick for their bot lane here makes a lot of sense, giving Jinx a lot of priority with the amount of CC that Nautilus offers. Should be exciting to watch if they're able to pop off here. I mean, personally, I hope they don't, but I'm a little biased. I think everybody knows that here. So, seeing the last pick come in for the blue side, and there's just so many options. If I were them, I'd probably index for the jungle pick here. You already know the matchup. But it's really kind of what the team identity wants to be, and they do opt for the Poppy. I'm really hit or miss on the Poppy pick. It gives DZG a lot of room to not opt into making the full use out of her debut. Morgana here is a fantastic pick. Really, anything Nautilus looks for, Morgana can just say, hey, no, with the Black Shield. And especially with how telegraphed that Nautilus ult is coming in from the side of Crimson Legionaries. But kind of rewinding to that Poppy pick, if you don't pick dashes, you're fine, right? DZG opting now to take out the Ahri from the table, and it will be the Olaf here, which a lot of people might be confused, but like, well, hey, Olaf, why take that away? We already have the Viego pick. Well, DZG likes to run this in the top lane, and that is a fantastic option to take into a Poppy, because Olaf can literally just walk right past her and run into the Jinx. Traps don't work, Poppy won't work, Nautilus won't work. So taking away a lot of that power. And Victor still is one of those champions that is able to offer so much, and DZG really focusing here on that mid lane takeaways, and really hoping to get their side a preferable matchup. So I imagine DZG is probably going to opt for a R4 mid lane pick, since they just kind of protected it with bans, and I imagine they're going to go for the full counter pick with Red 5. I could be wrong. Taking away another one of those strong champions up in the top lane. I do believe that the Tryndamere E is able to be negated by the Poppy W. So, but then again, Tryndamere is just a middle lane champion, right? It's, oh, he hits R, doesn't die for like 5 seconds, and makes me want to rage quit League of Legends. I know a lot of people also share that sentiment. Please rework him, Riot. Please change that. And DZG here opting with the Aurelian Soul for Red 4. I was not expecting it. I love seeing the dragon on the rift. This is going to be absolutely exciting. And once again, I am joined here by PoE. Welcome back, man.
Hey, it's me, PoE. I'm as fashionable as I am late. And we're ready and excited to do this casting for you guys tonight. It's a pleasure to have my awesome co-host Jace here.
Co-host, man. I am the host. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing that blue 4 Ornn come in, so definitely offering them a lot more in the late game department. With the ornaments coming in, Jinx should be an absolute menace if not shut down. And DZG, in my personal opinion, need to be investing some resources to either turbo speed up the side of the map or really just shut down that bot lane here, PoE, as we're getting into this. And then Corki coming in, making that a double threat for sure for the late game. Corki's damage is absolutely insane. I'm honestly surprised that we've gone the last 3 patches without seeing any sort of significant changes to the dual identity we pretty much have in the mid lane. It's Victor, Corki, and those are like the top tier, in my personal opinion, unless some things have changed.
I think the Corki package changes were meaningful, but I guess not meaningful enough for it to dissuade people from drafting it. Personally, I am not a fan of the Corki. I feel like I'm unimpressed by most Corki performances that I've seen as of late. And I really just think that we're seeing the meta being slow to adapt to new possibilities.
Absolutely. Well, we do see the Jax coming in here against the Ornn, which I have a love-hate relationship with this pick. Mainly just due to the fact that I think Jax is really good into this Ornn matchup here, PoE. If he goes with a Bork option, like really layer down some of that damage. However, with the Jax Counter-Strike Telegraph and the stun, Ornn should theoretically be able to dodge that out uh, pretty easily. But we see both sides, right? We see top to bottom going in for both sides. Crimson Legionaries, Ornn in the top lane, Poppy in the jungle, Corki mid, Jinx, Nautilus, bot support respectively, versus side of DZG Arcadia, where we have the Jax top lane, Viego. We've got Aurelion Sol, which I'm super excited to see, Ziggs, and Morgana. Now, we see both lineups. Who are you giving the draft preference here to?
Okay, so as much as I want to be the DZG fanboy, I think the performance, like the drafting of CRL, is just better. I like the traditional 80 carry with the Jinx. There's a lot of good shutdown with the Nautilus. Unless Viego really gets ramping, there's a lot of peel and damage to kill the Viego. The Aurelion Soul is either going to be the most disgusting and beautiful creation that I've ever seen in the mid lane, or it's going to be a never draft again type scenario. Um, Plus,
I
I like Poppy and Ornn.
So I didn't like the Poppy at first, and I still not entirely sure I like it now. Mainly because it was picked directly in response to the Viego with no other dashes showing. And I 2 questions I need to ask myself, um, and keep an eye on in this game is one, is Leap Strike denied by Poppy, which I think it
Yes, it is.
um, and two is the Zig Satchel Charge leap
Yes, it
blocked
is.
by Poppy. So with
Yes.
both of those coming in, that does increase the value of the pick.
And I also
But
I think that Aurelion Souls fly by
mm-mm.
that one is a different one than I'm used to. I don't know anyone in their right mind who plays this champion, so um, only the few people who actually know it exists might be able to answer this question. Other than I guess you, who somehow knows this random bit of information.
I don't actually think it is, because I think it's a travel instead of a dash or a leap. So I think Aurelion Soul is good. I used to play Aurelion Soul in what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, an a shamefully admitted amount of time. I love that champion. I think he's super fun. But I'm in the same boat with you. I think that DZG, their entire draft identity really relies on if this Aurelion Soul is able to do what he needs to do. Now, granted, this champion is able to offer a lot in the realm potential. However, that E is on like a minute and a half cooldown. It's very telegraphed. You have to put a lot of points in it early to get the distance out of it. To really be effective. And if
Yeah.
you do put the points into it early, you're losing a lot of damage potential on your Q and your W, and you're not really able to offer a lot in the damage department. So it's that super big trade off, right? But I mean, the plays that this champion is able to produce are insane, man. You can get, the Q the size of the freaking enemy base, and just
Not to be the I told you so guy, but actually, the Aurelion Soul fly counts as a dash.
does it. Okay, I stand 100% corrected.
I
Thank you
literally,
for the
I wanted to be right so bad, I wikied it like right now.
understood. So, that Aurelion Soul is too much of a wild card factor for me to give draft preference here to the side of DZG Arcadia. Um, but I am 100% okay with being proven wrong. I
Mhm.
do like the Ziggs coming in here for the side of DZG. I know you said that you wanted the traditional AD carry, but you've got a AD carry threat. Granted, they're melee. In the Jax and the Viego. So overall, I'm comfortable giving it to them. I think in the wave clear department, however, DZG is going to have a little bit of a hard time if they're ever in a siege situation. That's going to be pretty bad for them as well. The
Mhm.
range of the Jinx, the range of the Corki, DZG need the all-in, no shit flank opportunities, or they're just gonna get poked out of anything that they want to do. And hopefully that's something that they're tracking on. I get it, Ziggs is the king of poke, with the exception of maybe like a Xerath, right? But Corki and Jinx are able to do a lot in that department, and I think those two alone are able to outclass a DZG. And as long as they're able to dodge the side of Crimson Legionaries, are able to dodge out or play around the engage potential of DZG Arcadia, I think it's going to be really hard for them to pull off here, PoE.
You know, like yeah, and I just have my doubts of the Aurelion Soul. I think it's troll. I want to be wrong for the org, but just like I was right about the Poppy thing, I think I'm gonna be right about the Aurelion Soul thing.
Well, I hope you're not. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head into our spectator delay. We will catch you here on the Rift in about 3 minutes. Stand by.
When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heart be needing. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher. You take me higher, baby. You take me higher, yeah. You take me higher, baby.
Why didn't I know from the very start? Oh, you left me here just to fall apart. If I wrote you a letter, would I have a chance? Would you read my letter if I had it sent? If I wrote you a letter, if I wrote you a letter, if I wrote you a letter.
gentlemen, we are back and we are in the Rift right now, as it looks like DZG is looking for something cheeky. 5 members on the red side running to that top side, so we will see what happens here, as it looks like Crimson Legionaries are going to be running standard 5-man here. Once again, joined by PoE. And PoE, are you seeing anything here crazy that, I might have to interrupt you as they're looking for this. Just hold up one
The
second. I
biggest
think
question is gonna be: is he gonna land it?
well, Morgana flashes
Oh,
does connect here. He now no longer has access to the flash. Damage coming out. We see the stun coming out now. And this will fall to Zig here from the side of DZG. Getting it started within the first minute of the game here, PoE. And that's what we love to see if you are a DZG fan. Or just like League of Legends.
Are we gonna
Now,
see
we'll
another
be-
one? No.
I don't think we will. The follow-up here shouldn't be enough. Magpie's is here, but it does look like Kenya will be able to back them up. But I love seeing First Blood stuff. It gets me super excited to see how the series is going to play out. And I love seeing the gold going in the pocket. GVG looking so aggressive here. But real quick, before we pass it off, it was the flash of 5th on this Ornn here. Traded for 3 summoners, and I think that's worth, especially if Rezi is able to do some stuff here on this 6.
While I think it is nice getting the gold, the first blood gold onto the Ziggs, I don't necessarily know that it is worth it for 3 summoners. There's a lot of danger now within their lane to die from a jungler presence, and so I think unfortunately, while it's awesome, don't know if 3 summoners was it. I definitely think it could have been achieved with less, and I think this was maybe an instance of an overcommittal for just the kill.
And perhaps it was, but I think, by the time that those summoners are really going to start mattering, it'll be fine. They'll be back up, especially the Ignite being super low cooldown. Jack's Flash, you shouldn't really be under the pressure too much from this Ornn. But, one thing that I do want to point out here, we do see the Glacial coming out here from Slide Torque on this Nautilus. That is interesting. Also matched by Magfry's Glacial Augment as well in the bot lane, which I think is kind of standard. Aurelion Sol opting to go for the Electrocute, so looking maybe for that first potential here as he will connect on to the Corki, but those trade patterns not going out in their favor here at the moment.
It's a very negative trade for the mid lane there. I think if every trade goes like this, the Aurelion Sol will never be picked ever again in draft.
Well, we'll see what happens. Another thing I did want to point out is Poppy's going to be looking to zoom around this map as soon as Kenya gets up some moves. That stun didn't connect, and now it might actually be Jack's in trouble. He does not have access to this flash. If Kenya does go up here, the Leap Strike is in, and damage is going to be traded out. Kenya looking, and I don't know if they were able to get the stun out. He might have been able to Leap Strike out.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think the stun connected. With this, he would have been stunned for longer. So I think he was likely close, lost vision, and then didn't get the Jax until he came out of vision again. So the position was just off by a little bit for the E connection.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was good that Shisa was able to survive with that flash being down, Leap Strike being able to get so much distance here, and that's honestly huge. That's where Poppy chose to spend resources, but this might be... No, okay, it's not going to be. I thought the Brittle connected, but he used it aggressively, and it was Jax was able to just get out that Leap Strike, or not Leap Strike, Counter Strike, very, very defensively there, so that was well played by Chisa. And, the gold really here now being in the favor of DZG. We see them, almost a K ahead just off that first blood and how they're farming here. And, I wanted to point this out earlier. We talked about the trade patterns not being in the favor of the mid lane, and you're right. Actually, stand by 1 second as Shadowclaw is now looking here for Buckby. Will he connect with the W?
Oh.
He does. Second stun connects, and Buckby ticking, and will fall to Shadowclaws. Will the tower be enough? And it will, but it was an execute. Corki never touched him. DZG on the board with a second kill here, PoE.
Yeah, hey, I may be a negative Nancy about the Aurelion Sol, but I mean, if they're able to execute that setup every time, I mean, hey, power to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like I was trying to mention there, is if the trade patterns are in their favor, Aurelion Sol can just say, okay, cool, go back to base, and then, Dragon back in. So it's not a complete loss. He's able to really take unfavorable trade patterns because he almost has a teleport. Grounded will actually stop him from connecting, but it will be Magpies coming in to defend the counter invade, and Resi is on the Ziggs here in time, but now he might be in a little bit of a bad position, but no, the rest of the team is there to cover. GVG coming in on the Dragon right now, looking for something, but I don't think they'll follow up too much more, and Magpies, the perfect roam to help their jungler out, does net DZG Arcadia another kill. She's now should have a window to trade, but is going to just opt for that farm, which I think is the right choice. DZG now shifting onto this Mountain Drake, which is a perfect Drake to see in the first one. That means we're not getting Mountain Soul here, PoE. And what soul are you hoping to see in this game?
I think Hextech would be fun, or Fire Drake. I think either soul would be beneficial for either team for the extra damage that's going to come out. I think it just makes for more exciting team fights. Plus, the animation is cooler every time you proc those dragons.
Oh, for sure. I personally love Infernal. That extra damage coming out is always fun to see. Slide Torque, you're pushing very aggressively. Will he actually get called out, punished for his sins? Kenye is down here on the Poppy, and DCG do not know. Instantly, we do see the Black Shield coming out onto the Ziggs, but Ziggs is now opting to put in the damage. Kenye is now here. They will get the tackle into the wall, and that will be Resi falling on the Ziggs. Mags has been able to walk out here, and I think if you're the side of DZG, you're happy with that. The fact that they spent all their attention there onto one target, it's not ideal. Not by any stretch of the imagination is that play ideal. But the fact that they didn't get two there, I think, is very fortunate for the side of DZG. I think they should.
I think Mags is shooting for a record here for every time that she lands her Morgana keys. I can't say that I've seen her miss any.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Mag's been instrumental in both that top lane first blood and that counter jungle invade. So, it's fantastic to see the performance here. And unfortunately, they just didn't have the heads up on the positioning of the Nautilus, and that was all it was. They just took a step in the bush. They had a ward there. That's all it was. So just a little bit of an information game. And the goal being staying about stagnant, but it will be Shadow Claws here looking aggressively. Corky should use that Valkyrie soon and will be able to get out. Kenye is around, but on the other side of that wall. And, all it costs was a Valkyrie and DZG, definitely have the tempo here. In this game. They're the ones looking for most things. And she leaps in, but the orange is able to pop a Z, get out for free. And then we're going to see Herald here spawning in about 30 seconds. I imagine there will be some aggression around this objective, as Shadow Claws is sitting fairly comfortable here at 2-1, really.
Yeah, I think if the Poppy is doing her job and is tracking that Viego relatively well, GV will look to try to pressure now and try to get this Rift Herald early. But it looks like she's going to actually just opt to finish the Gromp as the Rift Herald is spawning.
So, quick look at the itemization here is actually, I won't get the time, we do see now, oh no, Satchel Charge did actually move the Nautilus out of the binding there, but it will be the side of Crimson Legionaries' aggression just falling off as they weren't able to really get too much there. Now it will be Shadow Claws here in the bot lane. Will he be able to do anything? Magpie stepping up, will connect with the binding, will be enough for Shadow Claws to get down here in time. And I don't know if it will be a lot of damage going out on the Ziggs. It's just kind of auto-pathing forward, drops the Satchel Charge to maybe knock it back. Damage not coming out here, as I think that was Slide Towards Flash coming out. So, DZG, mainly on Resi, just stepping up there for that Satchel Charge was extremely aggressive. I thought it was going to be their life there, but it will be nobody dying here as DZG do not get the kills on the gank PoE.
Yeah, so more to get into the absolute deep and interesting Poppy jungle mechanics as we come into this pause. Not a fan of the current buy strategy of the Poppy. Just pick up your Sheen. It is so valuable for the Poppy. And the fact that she has completed boots and has picked up the component for Divine Sunder without getting the Sheen is a mistake in my opinion.
Right. I can understand a little bit of it. Maybe not the Caulfield's Warhammer over the Sheen, but wanting to have the speed, because I mean they're not playing gank heavy, right? They're not playing jungle trade heavy, which kind of brings me to question the invade a little bit. If you're not playing Electrocute Poppy, why the hell are you invading on the Viego, right? You're already losing the index on the damage patterns, and it's not like Viego has been not getting resources. So I agree with you there. It's if you're gonna build one way, play to that play style. Don't play to the wrong play style and build in a different way. Does that make sense? So
I think so. I hope the audience understands, though. Not that I don't understand what you're saying, but they
right.
might not.
So, but I mean, let's look at the itemization that we're seeing coming in here. Instantly, the Ornn picking up the Bramble Vest makes a lot of sense to deny Jax on the healing that he might be getting, which is pretty much just all coming from the Corrupting Potion and Rejuve Bead, right? He didn't go Conquer. He went for the Lethal Tempo, so his healing's pretty mitigated, and it does look like with that coffee the phage, sorry, that he will be going for the Trinity Force build here, on that Jax. So that's something to keep an eye out. We already talked about the Poppy build here. Viego's going pretty standard, with the Sheen as
Divine
well.
Thunder build, yeah.
Yeah. So Divine Sunder, Corky is stacking his tier. And interestingly enough, we are seeing maybe the rush for the Leandries here. I still think Giant's Belt builds into that Leandries, if I'm not mistaken. Or not Leandries, Rylai's. So the Rylai slows there for the Aurelion Soul are gonna really help him out with his dancing around the W. And bot lane is to be expected. Lost Chapter versus the Noon Quiver, and then just the garage sales that we're seeing coming out of the supports here. So nothing too crazy as we are waiting for the lag issue for Ziggs here, and just kind of hanging out. So, mhm. Yep, we are seeing that unpause coming in now, so this will be getting us right back in. Hopefully we do not have, and we do have, the good old game break and pause scenario, so give us one moment as we're trying to fix that. But we do have Rift Herald on the map, and Dragon's going to be coming up in a minute 49. It will be an Ocean, so we might get our Wish Here PoE. It might be Infernal. It might be the Hex Stick. And for some reason, I don't think it's going to be the Chemtech Drake for some reason. But yeah, trading patterns now coming up here as Fifth is trying to do everything they can to hold on into this lane, and I wouldn't want to be the Ornn, especially late game. I think that the Jax is just able to do what they want. And now here's
But obviously, that's like a no-brainer statement there. If you're saying that like you don't want to be against the Jax late game, that's like 99% of the champions in this fucking game. Like,
sure. Now I do have a question for you. We have the Corki, we have the Jinx, but we also have a Jax and Viego. So who do you feel really goes well into this late game?
It's decided DZG. If you really think about it, the Ziggs is
Really?
going to do an insane amount of damage. And the Viego, if he even gets one reset, is going to be a monster. And the other thing, too, is that their Jax can just E in and just stop everybody without like them being able to really do much about it. I don't know that the peel from the side of CRL is going to be enough to really stop a level 18 Jax, but I don't know that there's enough peel in the game to stop a level 18 Jax.
One thing that I want to point out is the game is kind of stabilizing here. For the side of Crimson Legionaries, the gold lead really hasn't increased. It's kind of stayed really stable and actually shrunk a little bit for them. But we're now seeing a little bit of aggression here coming out, and instantly Satchel Charge comes out. Well done, Resi. Guess you're not lagging that much, but DZG maybe looking here with Viego, but I think he was spotted out by a ward. Gonna be some plates going over here for the Ornn. But I'm surprised that you actually feel that way. I with the Jinx and the Corki plus ornaments, I'm kind of reluctant to give it. I do agree Viego and Jax are insane. The Jinx or the Ziggs poke is fantastic. But, those ornaments are pretty game changing. We are going to see some contest over this Drake here, as we do see now Max connecting with that stun, and GDG will not actually be able to follow that one up. The Drake will fall, and it looks like DZG just got away with highway robbery there. Get that Drake for free. Teleport channeling up into the top lane. Since Shita was down here to help the team, and DZG just take it clean out of the noses. Now, unfortunately for the side of DZG here, PoE, those plates going up to Ornn will equalize the gold lead, but that is a 2 Drake lead for them.
Yeah, so the thing is, too, is that as much as we casters like to talk about the advantages that early Drakes grant you, you're only looking at, like, 3 armor, like, a minor amount of, like, heal increase from the Mountain and the Ocean Drake. These first 2 Drakes aren't enough to sway the state of the game, and will likely just be... Like, the reason why this team is at DZG is ahead right now is because they were just playing better. The Dragons will have little to no impact on just the outplaying that is going on around the Rift.
I think it begs the question more so of the potential of the Warhorn coming out now, as Chisa will be the target. He's gonna be able to, yes, now pop the counter strike, but will he have the leap available? So much CC coming out here from the side of Crimson Legionaries. Flash for Flash, and Kenye will actually get the kill. I think that must have been a red buff tick that did it after the auto attack coming out there from the Flash.
100% was, no doubt.
So DZG, a little bit of disrespect, trying to get a little bit of that gold in their pockets from the plate differentials in the top lane will actually cost Kisa his life on this Jax. But
So,
yeah, well played, well answered from the side of Crimson Legionaries.
so kind of a misplay by the side of CRL for not immediately trying to get the Rift Herald. You you have the top laner dead. Your mid is pushing in, and you have the ability to do this without any risk of like not getting the Rift Herald or it being stolen. Really.
Well, they are doing it now, and I think they should be able to get it. If they don't
It's
have
a
the teleport
little
available,
late with the Aurelion Soul
yeah.
being able to come back into it, as well as the Jax. If he were to run straight there, if they had any kind of idea that they were on it, which they should have an idea that they're on it, there's the potential that DZG could contest and take it. I mean, it looks like they don't necessarily want to do that, but I think it is definitely a reality where that could have happened.
Absolutely. Now this will give Crimson Legionaries, and not only did they equalize the gold lead earlier, but with that kill in the top lane, they actually took the gold lead for themselves. And this Herald should accelerate it a little bit. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to drop it here in the Rift here in the next 30 seconds unless they, like, absolutely just done for it, which I think they should have done. And the fact that, you know, Ziggs wasn't able to get tower prior to this, or any real plates, a significant amount of plate gold, I think is a little hurtful for DZG. That's a lot of standing gold on the map that they were not able to put in their pocket in this early game. But it now will be GVG forcing out the flash of Animantis here on this Jinx, which, well done. DZG now churning their attention onto 5th with the 2v2 bot lane, I'm sorry, 2v1 bot lane coming up here into the top lane. So that was, I think it's decent macro, but also at the same time, Drake's coming up in a minute for you. And unless you get this tower here, or the kill, and then the tower subsequently, but I don't even think they'll get the kill. They're losing the 1v1 here. Now it will be Resi Flash.
Oh my god!
Up here. As now the Sprite's coming in the mid lane, a lot of damage coming out, Animantis does pick up with a Super Mega Death Rocket. Herald now takes away GBT's safety as the Nautilus ult will connect, and it will be the death of GDG #1 on this Aurelion Soul. This Herald will get a second charge off. This will be a second tower falling. This gold lead has just swung immediately to a 2,000 gold lead, and it's going to be increasing from there for the side of Crimson Legionaries just all across the map. DZG picked up losses here, PoE.
DRL has like taken a really good opportunity to capitalize. Like that is 2 towers for one,
get this tower, but
as well as 4 kills. Yes, the Poppy's gonna come in. I think a little bit too early on the W. I understand that you're trying to use it for gap closer, but now you've given the ability for Jax just to jump out.
I don't think he's going to be able to just walk this one out. Actually, Chisa with the fancy feet is just literally dodging everything that the side of Crimson Legionaries wants to throw at him, and he does get out. He should not have been able to walk away. This is the second robbery that we've seen tonight. Somebody call Sly Cooper because his job is in jeopardy.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing when you're playing Poppy is like you want to use that W for the speed boost, but if you have a dash that you're anticipating, you need to hold it. But either way, it doesn't really mean that negative. Like, it's not that bad for CRL for not getting that kill. They've already generated a decent gold lead for themselves. They're up, 3K at this point almost.
Absolutely. Well, DZG do strike back a little bit and get that topside tower, which they are hoping they could have gotten probably a minute ago before the dust in the top lane. And I think that Magpies was able to live, was not taken out. That is correct by the Gorn there in that trade. But now damage coming out on the Buckby here. GVG looking underneath the tower. This might be a little dangerous as Slide Torque is on their way. I don't know if they'll have the follow-up. Magpies does connect with another binding. Well played from her. Just on this Morgana. If honestly, as it stands right now, if MVP, the game ends right now, MVP needs to be declared. It's going to be Magpies on this this Morgana.
Oh yeah, Max is literally the best. She is awesome.
Grinding has been fantastic to watch. But Buckby here taking a lot of damage. Slide Torque looking for the ultimate, does connect. Will be the stun coming out of GVT, but Rezi does turn around, pick up Buckby, and now it will be Kenye picking up the kill onto the 6. Magpie's in the 2v1 situation right now, waiting for GVG to come back since they were knocked out away from the Poppy ultimate, and it will be going gold to buy themselves some more time. Damage coming out, but will it be enough? The Legionaries isn't able to slow them down. Slide Torque will fall. Kenya, you have to think will be next. As GVG does pop, does get the shutdown, and that will be DZG picking up 3 kills for 2. And I think that's worth. Now 5th here in the bot lane will be stunned up. Damage coming out, and it will be Tisa who picks up 5th here in the bot lane. Now you have to imagine this tower's going to fall, and DZG striking back, equalizing the gold deficit that they did find themselves facing. Unfortunately, not able to take the dragon on the map, as it was picked up by Crimson Legionaries earlier. DZG striking back, and you know what? I think this is going to be one hell of a game here. It's just been a seesaw effect back and forth between these two teams, and I love seeing some good League of Legends here. PoE.
Yeah, no, so because of this plays by DZG, they've been able to now equalize the gold. And the Irrelevant Soul is actually able to make a good play there. I think it was kind of a little too risky for the side of CRL to stay and fight for the kill onto the Morgana. I think it was just better for you to not give those shutdowns over and just go ahead and play it safe and leave. You did the right thing by ulting out the Aurelian Soul. You had the opportunity, you got 1 for 1. I think it's better just to cut your losses there and move on.
I agree, however, we got to remember this is global, right? And we talk about vision difference, we talk about team gap, we talk about whatever. I honestly think that was a tab gap. I just don't think that they knew that Mag had access to that stopwatch, and she was able to buy so much time for the Aurelian Soul to come back in and get that double. If Mags did not have access to that stopwatch, then yeah, it would have been a super clean pickup for the side of Crimson Legionaries. But tab gap, right? Don't know what the enemies have. And this is another great point to segue into the fact that we do have Jack sitting on this hull breaker. He's going to be an absolute menace in the side lane threat, and it's going to be, they're going to have to send maybe 2 or 3 to really be able to stop Chiso and this Jax in that bot lane. But it will be the side of Crimson Legionaries now focusing on to this Rift Herald, and I don't think DZG know. They're giving this up pretty much uncontested here, PoE, which I think is absolutely abysmal to see.
Well, hey, there you go.
Take that back! And it will be the steal, I think, coming off the ultimate there from Rezi to pick up that Herald. Now, will they be able to get it? Probably not. We do see GVG focusing on it. Now, it will be the knockup coming in from the Nautilus Soul. Mags does actually walk that one through, and it will be GVG picking up the Herald. Negative did not actually get that objective, and will die for it instead. Kenye picking up GVG, Rezi dying in the lane, and it will be the side of Crimson Legionaries focusing on this mid lane tower, and I think it's theirs as they want. Shadow Claw's now here looking for something, but does not have the team available. There's 4 members of the side of Crimson Legionaries here, feeling very healthy. DZG recall Chisa, and DZG just once again not responding the way they should. And it's costing them in the body count and the objective count here for Arcadia, PoE.
Yeah, so the good thing though is that the side of DZG was able to actually get the Eye of the Herald. The only other downside is that you gave it over, like you gave a shutdown over to the Poppy. That's a good smooth pocketed 400 gold. I really think that Aurelian Soul was trying to put it to the test. And I think he actually tried to E out, but Poppy either E'd him into the wall or canceled it with her W. Wish we could have saw it.
I do stand corrected. GVG did pick up the Herald. I just couldn't tell because it was grayed out because they were in combat. So, I mean, that's a win-ish, but
I would not go as far as to say that it was a win for the side of DZG. I think they gave up a lot in, like, just to get that eye. And I don't think they needed to. I think just by, like, taking it away from the side of CRL, that was enough. Anything else was bonus, and it did not work out in the direction that they were expecting it to.
So I'm talking about them able to get something out of it. The fact that it wasn't complete, just 3 deaths for nothing. And if they're able to get a real big momentum swing here, that would be fantastic. 2 members of the side of Crimson Legionaries are on the bot side. It is going to be their AD carry, which is for their wave clear here. So this could be a chance for DZG to get a lot. Connect on the 5th, will there be follow-up damage? And potential, right? Shadow Claws does connect on the 5th, but Kenya is now here. All they got was one charge off, so definitely not worth, as Chisa now might have to fight his way out of this one. Slide Torque looking, will connect. Yes, there it is. There's a connection. Ultimate coming out now. Damage now being turned out. Counter-Strike going to do a lot of work here. As Chisa does jump back in, that is the flash from Jinx, but the damage follow-up from Animantis will be enough, and it will be Chisa falling in the side lane. That flash coming up huge. DZG was able to take the topside tower, and now might be able to get more mags coming in with a fantastic finding yet again. Stopwatch forced out from Buckbeam, but it will be Shadow Claws ticking, and 5th will fall. But it will also be the side of Shadow Claws falling here now, as Rezi, he's in a bad spot, doing everything that they can to get the damage on the Buckbee, but it will not be enough. Slide Torque is now here. Rezi will fall. Teleport now being channeled in, as that did take a while for Rezi to fall. GVG is now here, but will they be able to do enough? Slide Torque forced to flash over the wall, and it will be DZG losing 2 in the return just to get 1 from the side of Crimson Legionaries. Now, these decisions, Tony, or POE, sorry, these decisions are just so scattershot. I don't know what is going on in this game, man.
I wish I still played in a gold league, just to have these exciting moments that I'm witnessing on screen right now. You know, typically when we're playing the plat league, I feel like for the most part I see more of reserved play. This is absolutely chaotic and exciting to watch, because it's, even as a caster, you know, or even if you're an analyst, you can never really say what's going to happen, because at the end of the day, somebody like might make the most grave like misplay, and it absolutely changed the state of the game.
Now, I want to take you into my hot tub time machine here as we go back to the Drake conversation. One of the big things that I wanted to highlight was, you said that the early stats don't matter, and I agree. They matter a little bit, but not enough to sacrifice gold to for sure. But they do give you a lot of map pressure, right? If you're able to pick up those early Drakes and then snowball it into a soul, that does matter. As we do see Chisa here going on to 5th, gets a lot of damage out, might not have enough, they cannot. That will not be the Everfrost connecting as well onto that onto Buckbee here. But now that the Drake advantage is neutralized, this is going to be harder for DZG to really have that win condition than the Dragon department. But also at the same time, that means that their early work wasn't completely for naught, because if this was two Drakes,
Are you saying that it wasn't completely for naught to list?
Yes, it wasn't for the Nautilus. Yeah, no, but so it's. It means that, like, if those 2 Drakes went completely unanswered, DZG can sacrifice Drakes and Field Prime. They wouldn't get the Infernal. So that is some value added, but it now will be, since you're looking for the tower dive, the Ornhorn being called out now here, and it will be a really equalizing trade there. That was a little ambitious of Chisa to go for that tower dive, in my personal opinion, but this Jax feel pretty comfortable versus the 1-4 Ornn. Does have access to the board, does have access to the Hull Breaker, and it will be DZG here looking for something. As Shadow Claws now focusing on a Slide Torque, I don't think it will be enough, and once
again, a lot of the ultis burn for what ultimately came out for nothing. I think if CRL were to do this,
here to be able to get the damage out on the 5th, and it will not be enough, as Buckbee just eviscerated Chisa in that side lane. Crimson Legionaries pulling the Corki down there in the bot lane was the right call here, and DZG just able to posture around this Nash, but I don't think they'll be able to get it. Next Drake coming up here in 45, as they actually do set their sights on this objective. Teleport now coming in. PoE, I think we're going to be having a fight here as Max looks to connect on something, hit Slide Torque, not who you wanted. 5th now looking for something, does not have access to the Ornhorn. DZG walking up. Rezi in a little bit of an awkward situation here, as Poppy does have access to this Predator. Damage coming out, and negative will not be, but this is not the angles that you want if you're on the side of DZG. Teleport not available for Chisa when he does spawn. Max taking a lot of damage. Rezi in a bad spot here, doing everything that they can to walk this out. Shadow Claws focus, and Shadow Claws falls to Animantis. Rezi now going to be on the chopping block. Max as will fall to Slide Torque. This tower dangerously low, as it will be Crimson Legionaries just with the heads up play here. DZG, you're down a member. Why are you going after that objective?
Yeah,
Here
it's
we
this
break it down.
this is definitely there's definitely a throw type deal going on right now by the side of DZG Olympus. Not Olympus, excuse me. Olympus never throws. DZG Arcadia. Um, right now we're seeing them take their early advantage and absolutely throw it in the trash can. Like it is 2 day old sushi, and it's not going great for the side of DZG. Now they're being forced to give up this Drake as well.
They don't have
We're
access to the fight. They can't even start that. As soon as Poppy shows, Crimson Legionaries just say thanks for the leaves. And this is the third unanswered Drake. They try to get the Nash despite losing the split in the bot, despite being at teleport disadvantage. And I mean, Buxby still had access to his teleport, and they have access to the package here. You have to imagine something's going to be coming of this, but it will be the ultimate over the wall, and nothing comes of that. But the things that we expect to see don't happen, and things that we don't expect to see happen. So PoE is I'm just at a complete scatter shot. Here, as it will be Crimson Legionaries setting their sights to get this Nash pressure, and I think they're just going to start it out. They are.
No, I mean they're definitely within their right to. The biggest threat that they have about doing this Baron right now is the fear that they're going to lose it to Zig's ulti.
And
Zig
will
ulti
not
goes
be that
wide. I don't know what happened there by Reisama Senpai, but I maybe I
I'll
just
give
don't
them
play.
okay, no, I was, I was, you're,
Oh god,
oh
big
no,
engage by the Nautilus.
Max tried to drop the Black Shield and it just did not give GBG enough as the Aurelian Soul will fall again. And it's just going to be the side of Crimson Legionaries barreling into this base. I don't think that DZG Arcadia have the damage, have the engaged potential here to really answer. And you know, we talked about it in the draft phase. Unless GBG was able to pull off some insane roams to really snowball a specific lane, any lane, then it was just going to fizzle out. And this is exactly what you're seeing here. DCG do not have the avenues that they need to engage to take the fights that they want. And every time it's just been them in the back foot when it comes to literally looking for almost anything in this game.
Yeah,
Jinx is
I definitely think that, especially as we're seeing these Ornn items come out, I honestly do not think that the Ornn items are as big as they used to be. Since the item rework, I feel like the Ornn items are kind of like an afterthought. But I will say this, I do think that because there is such a large gold advantage, like we're talking 7k difference between the teams, CRL looks like they have this one in the bag. The Kanye is looking like a gold version of me. And he's doing good. I have a lot of respect for him on the Poppy. Anybody that plays Poppy deserves respect. Um, and despite the early kills going over to DZG, it's just it hasn't made that much difference. It hasn't translated into the late game.
Certainly. Well, I do agree. This is Crimson Legionaries' game right now. They have the tempo advantage, they have the item advantage, they have the gold advantage, they have every advantage that they need. Break advantage, dash advantage. Like DZG need a miracle. I'm not gonna say it's a complete over. It's a gold game. It could go any way. Resi now getting run down by Ornn, and you have to imagine this is gonna be a dead Ziggs, 100%. He does fall. Fifth getting the solo kill there, and Resi just seven deaths. The positioning's been questionable for sure for the side of the DZG bot lane. Tower now being focused down, and you have to imagine it's going to be falling. DZG just cannot answer the range here from the Corgi, from the Jinx.
Oh
as
my
they
god, big
can do
hook!
whatever they want. Huge hook does connect on the Shadow Claws, and it will be Cheetah jumping to the backslide, looking to try to do the thing again. Damage going on the Animanus, have the Flash Nova once again, and it will be Cheetah falling.
Big E-stun onto the Aurelian Soul, but it's not enough.
And he will fall. It will be a shutdown going out for Magpies. Now, Shadow Claw is doing everything they can. Does get some resets here. Does get a lot of damage out. Now looking as a Nautilus, but it will not be enough. Fifth alive. Animantis alive. And this should be the game here for the side of DZG. It will be Resi coming up here in time, maybe to stop this. But damage going out. Nexus will be falling.
Oh,
Just
okay.
oh, it will. Oh, Fifth with his last auto attack with his health bar there looking dangerously low. Does take down the Nexus, and it will be Crimson Legionaries picking up game one versus DCG Arcadia here. And now we're getting some damage graphs in. I have to imagine Animantis has an absolute metric load of damage here as DZ League Client League client doing its absolute finest. Yep, that is fine. So I imagine some of those high numbers are going to be coming in from either the Corki. Yep, so Corki just with 22,000 damage in this game was an absolute menace to society here, and decided DZG just could not keep up the tempo.
I just want to say that none of these numbers mean anything. The difference is that it's Chad draft. It is 100% Chad draft. We saw an Orn and a Poppy. They both have 2 hammers. You know, they're gonna stamp out the competition. That's all that matters.
I definitely think that the Aurelian Soul fell a little flat. Um, and honestly, uh, uh, as much as Mags was just
Oh, Max was
playing
still
out of her
MVP.
mind this game, Rezi's positioning was just a little on the questionable side. 7 deaths on the Sigs, it's a feels bad, especially when you have the the Black Shield available to you. So you know it's only game one. There was still a lot of redeeming factors in the DZG early game. They had a couple good looks in the mid to late game, but they were few and far in between in the mid to late game department. I really want to see some stuff soaring up. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and hold off for a little bit, talking about some of the draft adaptations, and we'll talk about some of those that we hope to see when we talk about Game 2 draft, bringing you that hopefully soon. Stand by for a quick break.
When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me onto the street like Arcadia, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street or at the end, so I could show you. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the me under the golden. Hey, you're golden. Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in us. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gon' Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up. Tonight, we gonna light it up, babe. Tonight, we gonna light it up. Just like the sunrise, we gonna light it up. I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you Game 2's draft for DZG Arcadia vs. Crimson Legionaries. Now, side selection has stayed the same. We are seeing the Shen ban immediately coming through and the Fior ban as well. I'm still joined here with PoE as we're heading into this draft. And PoE, I know that we've had our criticisms. I think the answer is going to be obvious, but what do you want to see different for this draft?
I want DZG to do chat draft. Literally just take their exact draft of CRL from the previous game and then draft it this game.
Okay, so I think there were some redeeming factors in the DZG draft. Like, I don't think it was terrible. I think it was mostly execution and Aurelion Soul, personally. The Aurelion Soul had potential. It does have potential in that draft. I just don't think it was piloted in a manner that outvalues a core team, in my personal opinion. But DZG do adapt, and they say that they don't want to deal with a jinx here. So this will be a new first pick coming in from Crimson Legionaries, and I'm super interested to see what they take. But kind of redoubling back on that point, like the Viego, good. The Jax, good. The bot lane counter or bot lane answer to their bot lane, good. It's just the Aurelion Soul was a big question mark. It didn't pan out, and now DZG should probably adapt around that point, right? And they also weren't really able to get too much valuable pressure onto the Ornn with the Jax to really get them snowballing. They weren't really able to utilize the split push to their advantage to get anything on the map, and I think actually it was more so to their detriment on how that played out. But we do see Senna being locked in here for Crimson Legionaries, answered by a Sivir Thresh. Now, how do you feel about that here, PoE?
I think unless DZG is able to actually catch out the Senna, they will lose this lane. They're likely to go lethality Sivir, and it is, from my experience, it is either the most incredible thing in the world, like 20% of the time, and it is very disappointing the other 80. While I do think that Mags, as a support, is capable to really put in the work for her ADC, I do not know that I feel as confident about the ADC's ability to play on the same level that Mags is. No diss intended, but it's, I think after the Ziggs gameplay, Mags is single-handedly putting that lane on her back.
You know, it was just the positioning with his things. And now that Rezi's being put on a
Oh god, please.
Legendary-
Oh, okay, so
Oh,
this game just got infinitely harder for the side of DZG.
yeah, Zeri here with the Trinity Force build is still absolutely insane. I don't think the nerfs were enough. And yeah, the Xinjiao Zeri coming out here does give CRL a very strong first side of the pick ban. But Trinomir is super annoying. And I think that the answer here is you need to look at taking away a Poppy, or you need to look at taking away the Orn. I do not think that you allow. I'm sorry, not the Poppy, because Zhenjiao was picked. Apologies. But maybe taking away the Orn. They already took away the Malphite, which is super easy engage mode. But I think
Yeah, the
taking
Orn
away
is definitely the worth it ban here. I think if they leave up the Orn, this game is already decided purely based on draft.
right.
If they do that, they've given the opportunity for the Senna Zeri to be an absolute menace on the Rift and literally splash damage on the entire side of DZG from literally the other side of the Rift.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this last ban could have come through here for DZG, but I really like this red side draft strategy. 1-2, either jungle 80 carry support, then you go with a solo laner protected with bans, which they kind of did, kind of didn't do, because they didn't protect it with the single or the second ban. And then pick whatever you didn't pick in the first two, and then your second solo laner. So you're able to get a lot of advantage here in the red side draft. It played well, and this is how I like seeing the red draft played out for sure. Now, DZG do not have access to the Diana or the Victor, and it will also be the Malphite Corki bans, as we talked about. And I imagine we're going to see a jungle pick here from the side of DZG Arcadia. And 8 seconds left for that. Let's see what it will be. Poppy. So they instead deny the Poppy away from the side of CRL, which is really nice for Chiza because he's able to just hit his E whenever he feels like it.
So, I do love Poppy, and now I'm gonna give some points over to the side of DCG, but the spacing available, like the look, as somebody who plays a ton of Volibear, it is impossible trying to catch up to Zeri. Zeri is an obnoxious champion, and it will almost never be caught by the Poppy. And we are seeing the Ornn locked in too, so if DZG isn't able to make the game end by 25 minutes, CRL has won the game. Like, I don't care how good the side of DZG plays. If they're not ending 25 to 30 minutes in, they've lost. It's inevitable at this point. It is literally a ticking time bomb if the Senna and Zeri are able to come online with Ornn items.
Well, we've heard it from him. We have the late game advantage for sure going over to the side of CRL. And I know they banned the Ari away in the first game, right? I know they took it away. They did not want Buckbee to play it. However, picking Ari into a Poppy, it's pretty questionable. And that is a LeBlanc coming in here for GVG number 1. That is definitely not an Aurelion Soul. So I'm super hyped to see this mid lane matchup here, PoE. This should be exciting for sure.
Yeah, now the point of contention is going to be the mid lane. The ability to cancel the dash is going to be very important for the Poppy to take advantage of. Ari's immobile. If Shadow Claws is able to really track, like, wait for that positioning on the specific walls that you want to hit in the mid lane, you're guaranteed at least a flash, if not the kill, almost every time. And you're able to stop this and Zhao engage. So outside of the Ornn ulti, there's not a ton of engage for the side of CRL. So long as this DCG doesn't like just face roll into the side of CRL, team fights should be a little more beneficial to the side of DZG, but at the same time, you don't want to necessarily take those team fights. You should probably just let the Trinomir split push and you just stall as much as you can.
Well, I mean, we saw DZG not capitalize on the split push effort before. The Hullbreaker coming out from Jax, he was not able to win any of the 2v1s that he was put in. Just mainly because it was summoner, right? Like, he almost killed Animatus like 3 times with the Jinx, but literally every single time Animantis had Flash available. So we talk about the value of flowing summoners, and DZG was just not able to get any sort of useful metrics in that department, and it just really Shisa was not able to capitalize. And then on the side of DZG, they're like, oh cool, our bot or our top laner just died bot lane. Let's go ahead and start a deficit Nash, and literally got 3 of their members killed. So definitely a lot more decision making, a lot more playing around, knowing how your split push is able to build and generate tempo, if they are, or playing around that to enable them to be able to do so, right? So these are some big things that DZG now need to shore up after the draft adaptations. They now need to really shore up in their gameplay here, Huey.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I hate being, as much as I'm a DZG fanboy, I hate being the one to say it, but the more I start thinking about this matchup, the more range that CRL has, the more difficult it is to be DCG in this kind of comp. Because unless, like, the side of CRL is just hard inting and, like, walking into the side of DZG, it's kind of difficult to really get onto the series, the Zeri Senna that you want to be on. And the moment that you do try to get onto them with your engage, Xin Zhao just presses R and knocks you back. The range advantage outside of, like, you know, maybe the LeBlanc is gonna go to the side of CRL. So you almost don't want a team fight. You almost don't want to be in a 5v5 or 4v4 type scenario, like, ever.
No, I definitely don't think they want a team fight with this comp. And you want Tryndamere to generate pressure here somewhere else, and then you need the rest of DZG to just be able to get the fuck out. Really, use the Poppy ultimate for disengage. Use the Sivir ultimate for disengage. If you're ever using those in a 4v4 situation aggressively, you need to be like 4 to 5k gold ahead. You need to have like the golden opportunity to get a pick first, because Xin Zhao's going to eviscerate this Sivir. Poppy's not going to be able to do too terribly much, and not too many people are really benefiting from an aggressive Sivir ultimate. So the disengage tools here from DZG need to be just that, disengage tools. Unless Tryndamere is just absolutely massive and able to two-shot your Zeri, the enemy Zeri, sorry, then you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. So
So the problem with running this disengage comp is that the longer you disengage, the more time the Zeri Senna have to scale.
Sure, but it depends on what your Tryndamere is doing on the opposite side of the map, right? Like, if you're able to buy him time, you win. If not, you lose. Like, I think at a higher level, it should be as simple as that. But like we saw last game, nothing is simple, and everything is to be questioned.
Absolutely. Even me, when I'm wrong, which is never.
Yeah, never. But I think we broke this down as much as we theoretically can, because, you know, we know how theories work in gold leagues. They don't. But with that being said, any closing comments that you want to make before we head into our spectate duel?
The side that picks Poppy wins. That's going to be my hot take.
All right. Well, that is going to be DZG Arcadia with the side of that Poppy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into our spectate delay. Hold tight. We'll be bringing you Game 2 of DZG Arcadia versus Crimson Legionaries. Stay tuned.
Cause those hands and lights can't stop me. I'll just hold on.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back bringing you into the action of Game 2 of DZG Arcadia versus Crimson Legionaries. And kind of some discussions that we had during the break, or, some of the identities that either team has. I know we really focused on the side of DZG here in the draft discussion, but kind of now looking at the side of
Whoa,
Max
what?
going instantly in. That will be the flash coming out from Animantis, and I think that is good value added. The Thresh Flash for the Jinx Flash is going to be, I'm sorry, not Jinx, Sari now from the side of Animantis here. That's going to be value, right? If you're able to now have a pressure point and put the Zeri behind here, PoE, I think that's going to be fantastic.
I just want them to capitalize on it. Like that is I thought it was a ballsy move to try to like walk 5 mid. And I thought that maybe they were just gonna all like, dance for some reason in the mid lane. And I was not prepared for the flash hook.
Now, that flash hook connecting was absolutely fantastic to see. Unfortunately, there was not any follow-up lockdown available, and Animantis did have a really good flash there, getting onto that tower. But kind of rolling back, right? Identity. DZG want Trinamir to pop off. We talked about this. I think we beat it to death. But the side of Crimson Legionaries, they've got a death ball, right? Ari, Shinjao, Zeri, backed up by Asena. But Mags and Rezi now looking aggressively. Hook does not connect. They're maybe expecting some sort of dash or maneuver, and Andaman just, able to freely trade out some damage there. But rolling back.
I mean, I do want to point out too that Ari literally does have a death ball.
Yes, literally has a death ball. But no, so the DZG never won a team fight. We've acknowledged this. So, but now it's going to be really up to the side of Crimson Legionaries to apply a lot of pressure and force them to want to contest these objectives. They need Drakes. They need Baron. They need chances on the map to really bring this Trinamir out of his split push win condition. And now if Trinamir is able to get any sort of meaningful damage or the kill here on top of this Ornn, it's going to be a very dangerous moment. Damage did not come out, and it will be just kind of business as usual here for either side.
I was kind of expecting maybe to hear a first blood in the top lane, but considering it's the Ornn Tryndamere matchup, I don't think that we're going to see any major coin flips at this point in the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to be really interesting to see how Fifth plays this lane. I imagine he's going to try to want to stay under this tower as long as possible, play defensively. That was his flash coming out there in the top lane, so Chisa getting early advantages. Does not have access to the Ignite, but that Ghost is going to be able to really help them move around as they want to. I'm also excited to see the trade patterns coming out here.
Oh
and as
my god, Jesus Christ.
And Buckby getting that point blank charm there. And, GVG able to answer back, not really using his clone at all. Just kind of sat there looking AFK.
I mean, he played it well. I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, so, yeah, that charm is just going to be absolutely annoying. If it connects, you're going to have a bad day. And there's no cleanses available for either side, so, either team side, I wanted to point out. So, it's going to be interesting. Shadow Claws is down here, and so is Kanye, and this will be damage coming out. Max connecting, and does get the first blood on Zeri. Now damage coming out here on the Kanye, and I don't think any more is going to happen, but that will be another, Dark Harvest stack coming in here for Rezi. And we talked about wanting to capitalize on that flash. We got our wish here, PoE.
No, it's good. I definitely think that the side of CRL was positioned in the 4th place, and it was also the good counter gank from the side of DZG to essentially pin them against the wall in that situation and show them who's boss.
Yeah, and it will be just these trade patterns coming out here in the top lane as usual, but getting that damage onto the Sivir, that is going to really help you out in this team a lot. Especially, like I said, you never want to take these 4v4s later, and, getting pretty aggressive here, but you never want to take these 4v4s later because the side of Crimson Legionaries are just, better team fighting potential, in my personal opinion, especially since they didn't want to index into the split push. But if DZG is able to get an insurmountable lead, then the team comp doesn't really matter. Sivir is going to be able to put an absolute metric fuck ton of damage out, so is GVG. So if they're able to get this early lead, just snowball with it, fantastic. That is what DZG wants, especially when we talked about this late game not being in their favor. But Shadow Claws here again will get the damage out. The attack out. But now it will be the flash coming out the root. And will it be enough damage here as GVG is looking? Does get the auto attack and
Oh,
will fall
trade.
to the ignite. But that is more gold going over to the pocket of DZG because that was the assist gold going in the pocket of Shadow Claws. So DZG get the tempo advantage and they're just doing what they want to do on the map. Unfortunately, though, we saw this last game. They had the early leads. They had the early game going in their favor. The follow-up wasn't there. And that's where I want to see the transition here from DZG. Take this early game tempo, transition it into the mid game. All right, now we're seeing some more action here as we've seen the posturing on the top side. Nothing's going to come of that here, PoE, but it's now going to be Magpie showing up in the bot lane, and whenever Magpie looks on the aggressive end of the spectrum, something happens. Most of the time, it's DZG getting the hook, and the rest of the follow-up is that coin toss. So now GVG dodging out. I think that was not the charm, and got a lot of damage out there on a Buckbeast, so GVG playing this LeBlanc quite well.
Outside of that first trade, well, honestly, while I do think that that DBG is taking these short trades very well, oh god, the orb damage is just a lot, and anytime I want to say something positive, I think he's gonna get exploded by a Ari orb.
Well, now it will be two members of DZG strong here, and it will be Chusa going in, does get the auto attack, and Fifth will fall. Now on the bot side of the map, Magpies will fall to Animantis, as that was just the junglers swapping on the top, or different sides of the map. Now, I do think this is more postured better for the side of Crimson Legionaries here, as there is an objective on the bot side of the map to take, but not the top side. First strike should theoretically be falling to the side of the Crimson Legionaries, and this will go unanswered from the side of DZG here.
It's more bang for the buck. I think while it is always a good play to try to get your win con ahead. The win con being Tryndamere for the side of DZG. Hey, small Pyrrhic victories and they traded kills. And CRL also got the Drake.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the gold lead still sitting at 1k. And, the Drake, it's a cloud, right? And some of these ultimates are very valuable, right? But it no longer gives ult CD anymore, so it's just all about that move speed, moving these individuals around the map, which, it is pretty beneficial if you're the side of Crimson Legionaries, right? Move speed does help you deal with map rotations and pressure better. Unfortunately, we're not able to see what the second Drake is at the moment, just because of spectate bugs. As soon as we get a look at that Dragon Pit, though, we will know. Oh, come on, Mags, you're so close. Just walk a little closer to the Dragon Pit. We don't get to see it. But, let's start looking at some of the farming deficits. And literally every single lane, DZG is coming up heads when we start looking at these CS gaps here. So that is absolutely fantastic to see for DZG. Not only do I think they're playing the map a little bit better, minus the jungle trade, but you talked about the win condition there.
I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're CS gaps, let alone like CS cracks. You're talking about like, let's even when we look at the jungle map stuff on a micro scale. You're comparing a CS of one jungler who has done an objective and has spent time not generating CS from themselves, versus a jungler who hasn't. So it's not enough to really bat an eye at. We're talking not like maybe 1,000 gold difference between the teams here.
Top lane's pretty substantial. But no, I'm just talking about the fact that like they're still playing this well and have tempo in every lane. Now it's going to be looking at a dive as Chisa does have Tower Echo, has access to the Undying Rage, and it will be Chisa taking down. Now his ultimate does extend somehow that duration. Holy hell, that thing is so long lasting. And it will be Fifth falling in the top lane as Kanye Jinzhao, sorry, did everything that they could to try to help out their top laner. GVG will fall as Bucky does get the solo kill in the mid lane. So that Crimson Legionary is coming up and feeling probably pretty good about that one, despite losing the Fifth up there on that horn. So, once again, talking about putting gold into your win con, fantastic, but the other members of DZG need to make sure that they're able to hold one here.
I gotta say it. Max's presence is a present because she has been a great tool for the side of DZG to generate pressure alongside the map. And it was a very good time roam. She is still the MVP in my eyes. Oh my god.
He will Oh, as Animantis does get the solo kill, Rezi really greeting out for that plate there, and just completely disrespecting the amount of damage that Animantis was able to do.
And the worst part is didn't get it.
Yeah, didn't even get the plate, so that is just unadulterated 300 gold going right in that pocket of this area. And you talked about how scary this area is going to be, and 2 kills up on this champion right now. That's not the barrel of the gun you want to be looking down. Oh no, Buckby doing everything that they can to try to walk this one out, but it will not be enough. Buckby takes him into the wall, shutdown going over to the pocket of GVG #1 as DZG strike back in the middle.
Shadowclaws, if you're ever watching this, if you ever want like poppy pointers, I will like give them for free. I don't think you need them, but hey, like from one poppy player to the next, you're looking good, King.
Somebody get this ego man out of here. Alyssa, can we get rid of him as we do see Chisa going in, getting the auto attacks onto 5th? But no, that was fantastic. DZG just roaming around the map, trying to generate leads here. And unfortunately, yeah, they have the lead, but it's not as insurmountable as they need for the complete, just absolute index into team fights later. But Chisa, sitting at 2-0, that's who you want to hit, right? If he's able to do the things that he needs to do in the side lanes, then it should be fine no matter what. But it's really going to be down to the macro, and this game is still way too early to tell one way or the other. Alright, so we're seeing some posturing here. Drake coming up in 20 seconds, and that is so much damage coming out of Buckby's Ari here.
It's so scary.
And yeah, I just want to see what the Drake is, PoE. Charm goes wide, GVG looking here to connect with the chains, does get some damage out, connects with the double chain from the ultimate, and just going to take the Lantern back to hang out. That is a Hextech Drake plotting now with a Rift for the side of DZG to just pick up, I think, for free. Sly here looking to be annoying, I guess, but it will be max connecting, goes over the wall.
Good.
GVG, a lot of damage going out, but will it be enough? GVG did not follow, but it will be Magfries taking down Senna with a fantastic hook over that wall. So DCG get a kill, they get a Drake, and that's what you want to see.
Honestly, that hook, it was already a good thing, a good situation for the side of DZG, but Mags landing the most massive hook of hooks and getting the kill too is just icing on the cake.
Sure. Now DZG looking to play aggressive here. Chisa going under the tower. Has the ultimate available. It's ticking. Will they be able to get it out with it? Oh, that tower does connect a year later. Now, I'm not sure how the timing when it worked, but since he gave the tower shot so long to travel, it might have been able to just hang out near that bush and use the timing windows. But that's something that I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at. But
yeah, that's the nitty gritty. Even I don't think that I would have played that properly and not died there. So I mean, props to Chisa,
Yeah, it's so annoying when you're Takey Boy Orin and you're literally just getting dove by a champion that cannot be killed. I hate them. I. Alright, now, kind of business as usual, as we are going to be getting the Herald drop from the bot side of the map here, and that should get a lot going, and this will charge in time to pick up these plates. So, optimal utilization here from the side of Crimson Legionaries. And, unfortunately, we're going to see a Mountain Soul this game. So, all the wind has been taken out of my sails for the excitement factor here, because I hate seeing that break. It's just so anti-fun, Yui. It's so
it's not cool. There's no big splashy animations to talk about.
Mags
and this Ari is in danger.
Oh, the tackle does connect, and the follow-up damage is going to be here. GDG with another kill going into their pockets here. Crimson Legionaries just not respecting these roams as Buckby is being the recipient of a really bad party. And now DZG, nothing really to take off the map here, but do get that gold in their pocket. Sitting here at a 1.7k gold lead, that must feel pretty good for them. As, yeah, once again, just kind of mellowing out. We're just getting quick.
That's exactly what you want to do. This is what you want to do. If you're the Poppy, you want to sit in that lane anytime, sit mid, anytime that the Ari even slightly begins to push up the lane.
Well, because you completely nullify that dashing ultimate, right? Like, Arya's like, oh, I can play up, I can play aggressively. Well, not when there's a Poppy available. And as soon as you hit that R button, you get grounded, you're slowed, and then, the rest of the follow-up damage is just there. So DZG just really utilizing that Poppy to their full advantage. And honestly, I think it's disrespectful, right? Disrespectful from the side of, oh no, we're going to see some fighting near. Max doing everything they can, connects with the hook, but it will not be enough. As GVG is here with Mags just to hang out for the funeral as Thresh will fall there in that play.
Honestly, very smart by the side of CRL. They're getting rid of the real threat in that pick. I think they can play as aggressively as they want now.
Right. But I do think it was a disrespectful pick to go with the RE5, knowing that Poppy was available.
Oh, 100% disrespectful.
And another thing too, we talked about the value of the Poppy, but you have an Ornn, right? Horn completely gets nullified by a Poppy, and they picked that after DZG showed the Poppy. So if Crimson Legionaries do lose this game, which at the moment they are on the back foot, then they need to really evaluate how much they want to take those aggressive pick trades in, knowing that Poppy was available. Now, there's going to be the tackle coming out here. Will be Shadowclaws taking the tower aggro. They're going to have to walk this one out. It does flash to get out. Now, Shadowclaws, that tower is heated up. Now is looking for the damage. The ultimate coming out here from the Trendemir. Will he be able to walk out this tower in time? And he does. Fifth, running for their life, and I think will not be able to make it out as Shadowclaws will take them down. Now I imagine DZG will just turn around and immediately look for this tower, as Kanye will be heading up here. Chisa is low, needs to be careful, needs to be respectful, but that heal from the Trendemir is incredible. DZG now looking to pressure this. I don't think they're going to go for a second dive here, as wouldn't come likely, does connect the follow-up damage, will now be coming out from the side of DZG. Chisa connects, has tower, will fall, but now it will be Shadowclaws taking this tower. Teleport will be available for fifth here in the next 5 seconds. Will he opt to use it? I think probably, if it was going to be them staying. DZG now looking here for this mid lane tower. Do not really have a lot of damage here to get these objectives. Dragon spawning in 10 seconds, and now it's going to be a question what either side want to do here. So, what do you want to see from DZG with this tempo?
DZG to actually start getting some towers. Like, I mean, as much as you want the Drakes, you're already down a Drake right now. You're not really looking for the Soul. The Soul is not your win con right now. But this is a big fight from the side of CRL. You've got half of the DZG members down to half health. I think there's an opportunity, even despite the 45, to actually get some kills here.
Well, they just need to back up, give up this Drake. We talked about it. They don't need this Drake. Trendemir heading back into the top lane, so you know they're not going to be indexing. Granted, Ahri is down, but I don't think your health bars are going to be enough to win this out, especially with the Ornn here. We talked about it. Don't play 4v4. Do not play the 4v4. Unless your LeBlanc is able to just absolutely eviscerate either Zeri or Senna, like, don't look for anything. Back up. Now they're not backing up, and it will be Kanye looking here aggressively. Tower's still alive, but that Senna is going to do a lot. The backup coming in. DVG looking, does pick up the Senna. Max going gold will buy a lot of time, but it will be Shadowclaws following, you have to imagine. And it will not be Zeri that gets it. Oh no, Ornn thought they had it, but it was not enough. DVG getting away once again with a murder robbery here as Slide Torque will fall. DZG lose no members, and Trendemir is just barreling down this top lane because they had the answer. They pulled the Ornn here to answer into the fight. Now it will be Drake falling, and Buckbee looking here extremely aggressive in this mid lane play here. Chisa just taking everything that they want, and DZG get a lot of mileage here. Lose the Drake probably, but I think that's a trade you're willing and 100% comfortable taking.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the side of CRL, you do want these Drakes. This is the one thing you get the advantage out of having. Because having the Drakes doesn't really help DZG that much. So at the end of the day, go ahead and get it while you can. You're not like you're gonna win. You're gonna like really be able to engage super hard, and you can't let the Zins like the Trendemir split push forever.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe they will let that happen. As two members right now of DZG are on this Rift Herald. Chisa's just hanging out in this jungle looking to ruin Ornn's day, and he might be able to do that. This Ornn is going to be tanky, but Trendemir just does a lot of damage, has access to that Kraken Slayer, able to just eviscerate Fifth, and Fifth is not having a good time. Chisa, I don't even think he's about the ultimate, does not, and just walks us out. Fifth sitting now 1-5 on this Ornn, and that's absolutely what we wanted to see. We wanted to see Trendemir strong. We wanted to see Tryndamere just murder people, and we're getting it. And this is DZG's win condition. 5-2 on this Tryndamere. Absolutely massive performance here coming out from Chisa. And the rest of DZG performing very well in this game. GDG sitting at 6-2 in this LeBlanc. The threats from the side of Crimson Legionaries not really able to do much as this Herald will be dropped in, and DZG getting those towers that you wanted to see so badly here. They have access to disengage tools if the side of Crimson Legionaries want to answer something here, and then just walk out. No need to burn any of them, as DZG feeling very comfortable, or should be feeling very comfortable in this game.
So the thing to consider here too is that the Xin Zhao went Frostfire Gauntlet. I think that really hurts the side of... Oh, God. Big abilities sent out and killing the Ahri once again. It is not playtime for Ahri.
That is absolutely not what you want to see if you're the Ahri. And the Poppy, like we talked about, the disrespect coming in, the Poppy and the Ornn picks, are, monumental, in my opinion. Oh, cool. What two champions should I... Actually, what champion should I pick if I see an Ahri and an Ornn? Oh, Poppy makes a lot of sense here. Not the other way around. Like, that's not something.
Yeah, it's definitely not the ideal situation to be in if you're the Ahri. Like, honestly, like you said, it's disrespectful. You know that this one champion will negate your major escape and engage tool. Why pick it? I think it was definitely a bad draft decision on the side of CRL.
Yeah, 100%.
As much as I still like their draft more, I think the fact that you picked the Ahri into the Poppy is a little suspect.
Yeah, and oh no, once again, DZG just absolutely murdering Kanye here. I think they'll be able to get this kill. They don't have their damage threats really there where they need them. And now GVG is going to be focused here and will take a lot of damage from Zeri, and it will be Zeri picking up the shutdown onto the little bonk. Now damage coming out, DZG. We talked about this. If you're able to get picks, fine, but don't take 5v5. It's not going to work out in your favor. You're not able to pick up Kanye, who was able to live, and now DZG just drop a member for free, and that is a shutdown actually going in the pocket of Zeri, and that is not nice.
Yeah, now we're seeing the Zeri complete the Triforce here, like, and now the Runeans. Like, this Zeri is going to be secretly dealing a lot of damage. It's not going to be fun for especially the squishy members of DZG, which is literally everybody but the Poppy.
Yeah, so now, oh no, Side Torque now being the focus, and they will
do Baron, holy cow.
Absolutely. You have Buckby down, you have Slide Torque down, free Baron, absolutely 100% on the table. Now, if you're the side of Crimson Legionaries, you need to answer, and go immediately. That is the only way you should be able to contest this. There's no world that you win this. You should not be on this opposite side of the map. And granted, Drake's not up, but if you're able to establish pressure there and maybe look for that fight that you've been wanting, that's what you want. But instead, they're just doing this dance here. Maybe looking for a steal, but there should be no way that Xin Zhao is able to get into that pit safely. DZG get the Nash, and they should just be able to reset and go immediately for that Drake.
Now the side of DZG is snowballing to victory. I still think objectively that this draft, this draft should not be performing this well, and it is should be a badge of honor to see the side of DZG steamrolling as hard as they are with this draft. They said this is hard mode, and we are gonna win it.
Well, this is the fight that you want to see her now. They're looking to do everything that they can. The Ornhorn blown completely, looking for any sort of pick. Now DZG should feel really comfortable. They should be able to win this 45 here. As Buckby is almost dead, does get taken down by Vax. Kanye now being the focus, and Kanye will fall to GVG. Now on the backside, you do see the center fall. Fifth falling now. Tryndamere just breaking into the base. DZG pick up 4 quick kills. Zeri being the only member of Crimson Legionaries to survive. Mountain Drake falling. Top towers falling. Base being cracked open. DZG getting everything that they want and some. This is their game to lose. Base being broken into now as Tryndamere doing Tryndamere things. smacking on this inhib. Zeri's going to go up to answer, but it should be the rest of the members of DZG just walk into the mid lane and getting what they want here. Maybe they hit the gas pedal here and look to get 2 inhibitors. This should not be the game just yet, but DZG just getting an incredible gold influx, an incredible objective influx into their pockets here, and this should be literally the fat lady warming up the vocal cords. It will actually
big
be
shutdown. Just wish it wasn't on Zen.
yeah, Shadow stepping up a little bit does get hit by the charm, but DZG should feel very comfortable with everything that they got. Trendamere just still here taking towers. And we're seeing the recalls channeled in, reset, spending a lot of that gold. Should be just DZG should literally just pick where they want to pressure, send Trendamere to the opposite spot for 1, and just end this game within the next 3 minutes. If not, then they need to do some soul searching, because there should be nothing left on this map that they need to spend time
Well,
on.
they can't do that. It's 3.5 minutes before the next one, and then there's gonna be another like 5 minutes after that.
Well, I don't think you need Baron to win at this point.
Well, no, I mean you need soul.
The wave the wave really isn't in the favor of
Well, more so my point is that you said soul searching, and soul is not a concern right now.
You smartass. But either way, yeah. So this is what they want to do. They should send all 4 members of the rest of the team into that mid lane, break that inhib. Trendamere just does Trendamere things. Ornn needs to push this out as far as he can and then get back to the base. But they need a god engage. They need to actually have the Ornhorn hit somebody and for it to be beneficial. But if Poppy is ever in the right position to do anything, you're not going to be able to get it. As it will be members of Crimson Legionaries looking to play aggressively.
Oh
She's
my
just
God.
doing whatever he wants. Immediately Slide Torque just eviscerates Undying Rage. Now Poppy for Cheese needs to get away. Damage will not be enough. Kanye falls. Now DZG looking for the surviving members of Crimson Legionaries. Buckby not able to connect with the Resi. Resi playing extremely aggressively and not getting punished for it. Well, minus the flash, of course. But now it will be the members of DZG focusing onto this last inhib. And that's going to be triple inhib. The fat lady is literally grabbing the microphone here, and it should be DZG's game, unless something absolutely insane happens. Nexus Towers should be the next one chopping block. Buckby sitting at half health is going to have to deal. Super minions in the base. Inhibitor down. Ornn looking forward aggressively, but it will not be enough. Grabbed by hook, and it will be fifth, falling to Resi Sama, who is now unstoppable on this Sivir. Fat lady, I hear you. You're singing. Nexus falling. Maybe any sort of blast deaths coming in. They should be coming here in the next second as Max gets focused up, but it will not be enough. Nexus ticking, and will be the shutdown going on Trendamere, and that will be DZG taking game 2 from Crimson Legion.
I just want to go ahead and say that I called it with my hot take. The side with Poppy wins. That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
The other thing to consider in true DZG fashion, we have won game 2 after getting stopped game 1.
And honestly, you know what? If DZG felt like taking the Aurelian Soul and playing around with the draft a little bit, game 1, 100% acceptable. 100% acceptable. If you're feeling that confident, do you, boo. But, not only was it the draft differences in game 2, granted there was a lot of disrespect coming out from the side of Crimson Legionaries in my humble opinion. But the fact that they just looked like a completely different team. Their split push was a lot more focused and stylized. The rest of the team was just able to really come together and generate leads in what should not have been ideal circumstances, right? We talked about them never wanting to index into that 4v5. They were able to because they were so far ahead from the early game advantages that they got. So wonderfully played DCG from the draft perspective, and then also from the gameplay perspective. If everything goes the same way, then there should be a DZG series. Now, knocking on wood, don't want to cast or curse, but it also now needs to be Crimson Legionaries' time to do some soul searching as well. They literally disrespected in the draft. If they come back with a solid draft, then it should be a very good game 3 here at PoE.
I'm always here for game 3 because I'm required to.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and bring you into a short delay as we wait for everybody to get into the Game 3 draft, and we are so excited to see what kind of changes are going to come out. So stick with us, and we'll be bringing that to you very shortly.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a Game 3 draft of DZG Arcadia vs. Crimson Legionaries. Still here with good old PoE, and it looks like side selections are staying the same, but bans are a little bit different. Trinamir must have really gotten under their skin and under their towers, as that actually will be taken away from the side of DZG Arcadia. Not going to have access to that pick again. Vex, Fiora still coming to the table, and sorry PoE, but you're not going to get a Poppy for Game 3.
Honestly, I think it's kind of troll and lame that they did not pick the Poppy this game.
Well, you did say that whoever picks Poppy wins, and they did have the ability to first pick it, but it will be CRL maybe going back with his very first pick, maybe going for the Senna again, as that Jinx was taken away, and they seemed very comfortable first picking that in Game 1. But no, I'd love to see what kind of draft adaptations we're getting out of here. I'd love to see a little bit more respect, but I mean, they don't have to entirely respect it because Poppy's not available, but it will be a Viego coming in. And I know that a lot of people love to play the Poppy into Viego, so that might have been telegraphed just a little bit. But I really want to see what the jungle counter is to that. And how do you feel? What would you want to take into a Viego here, PoE?
Honestly, the Trundle would be pretty good here. Though people really consider Trundle the tank killer. Oh god, please don't tell me this is what I think it is. Oh, okay, so we're seeing both the Trundle and Janna. So, the reason why you want to take the Trundle here is that you pretty much always have the advantage over the Viego. While Trundle also steals tank stats, he also takes AD as well. So he should essentially always win the 1v1 matchup, no matter what. Unless one, the Viego is 7 kills ahead or something, he should win this matchup. In the 1v1.
Yeah, 100%. And I know Mags loves playing this Janna. And Mordekaiser coming out here for the side of Crimson Legionaries. I love that pick, right? It just enables so much. It gives you the AP threat, gives you a lot of flexibility if you do want to take maybe a non-traditional bot lane, or maybe an AD mid lane. It gives you some options there. But the Death Realm just offers so much. However, I will caveat this by saying that Chisa has been destroying the top lane. Especially with the amount of jungle pressure that DZG have been able to put up there. Now, if you're able to deny that jungle pressure, that might really help you out here, as it will be a Vayne coming in for the side of DZG Arcadia. I don't know if that's going to be piloted by Resilient or if it's going to be piloted by Chisa in the top lane, but either way, I'm excited to see a Vayne. Hopefully, Vayne spotting won't be a game we get to play tonight, because I do want to see a DZG dub. But
it's a bold move, Cotton. It is a bold move, Cotton, and I hope we'll see how it works out for him.
For sure. Now, we are seeing the Zeri ban coming in, so DZG definitely don't want to see that champion coming out. It wasn't too effective last game, but it did have its moments where it was able to be pretty obnoxious. LeBlanc taken away, GVG performed admirably on that champion. Corki gone, Diana gone, but hey, don't worry, PoE. We still have Aurelion solo available if DZG want it.
I do not think that is the play by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, I hope not, as well as we are going to see the Olaf picked in here for the side of DZG. Now, if he utilizes the Ragnarok, he's able to deny the Death Realm. So, fantastic pickup here by DZG in the top lane. So, that's going to be fantastic to watch. And, if whatever AD carry they do decide to pick, needs to make sure that they're in, metric mile away, metric kilometer away, because miles aren't metric. But it will be an Ezreal, so that does give you some degree of safety. Arcane shifts really helping out there to give you some distance from the Olaf. Hopefully you're able to stand next to a wall all game, and you don't have to worry about it. There's no Poppy, so it all works out there. But Olaf, I think, a fantastic pickup here for the side of DZG. And Ezreal is a good response, I think. 100% coming out of here from Crimson Legionaries.
Oh, the Olaf pick coming through as well. I think it's kind of interesting. I think we're going to see the Trundle top Olaf jungle. We're going to see a very similar goal from the side of DZG to split push the map beyond belief.
I don't think that's going to be the pick here, as Orianna... I'm not feeling too great about this Orianna pick.
The Orianna is going to get run down.
There's no good ball delivery system here for the side of CRL. And it's not like they can draft anything else, unless Viego wants to ult in with a ball on top of them. That's their only ball delivery system. as DZG will be ticking away and they will opt for the victor in the mid lane. And, PoE, we talked about draft the last two games. DZG, I think, coming out here, in my opinion, the clear favorites of this draft. The only question mark I
Yes,
have
I
is
do
the bot.
think that they win the draft in this scenario.
Yeah, 100%. The only question mark I really do have is the bot lane, right? I really enjoy the Janna. The Vayne here is the question mark for me, and Karma's able to do a lot here, to enable and to disable the bot lane here or against DZG. So, overall, the top, the mid, and even the jungle, I feel went supremely in their favor. And bot lane's going to be the X factor, I feel, for the side of Crimson Legionaries here, PoE.
Yeah, agreed. I think I want to, like, unless we see this Viego really come out or the Ezreal do some disgusting damage here, DZG has the advantage. Especially with Mag's ability to play as a support and anchor her team. Um, I really think that it if the Janna is able to move around the map and be as effective as um, Mags was last game, this is gonna go to DZG. Not necessarily because one team is better than the other, but because the ability for the supports to have a meaningful impact on the entirety of the game.
Mhm. Well, we shall see, kind of how things boil out. But I mean, there are still options here for the side of Crimson Legionaries. If Viego is still able to pop off and do work, right? If he is able to find those avenues, Orianna should theoretically be playing around the Viego most of the time, unless you want to suicide Ezreal with a arcane shift,
Yeah.
shockwave. Like, that's an option. Um, but they have the range potential here in some regards, for sure. Vayne's super short range. Victor's pretty short range as well. Israel should be able to get out a lot of poke. Karma poke's going to be a thing. Putting Mordekaiser in the side lane, I don't think would be extremely beneficial, but if you're able to deny a Vayne, you're able to deny Janna's ability to impact the fight with Death Realm, that could be extremely beneficial as well. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom for the side of CRL. There's options there, but it's just going to be a lot harder for them to execute, for sure, in my opinion, here, PoE.
Yeah, I am really scared for the Trundle or Olaf getting any kind of advantage, because if that's the case, they're going to run down the entirety of CRL. And there's nothing that CRL really has the ability to do other than run as fast as possible away from the rest of DZG.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to be seeing some of these picks coming out, just as everything's going to fall into place. Now, that's one thing we didn't really get to see too much of the series is the flex picks. Like, everything seemed pretty static. Like, this is going here 100%. So, that means the second phase of draft, there isn't too much to talk about, unfortunately. But, so let's go ahead and say final predictions, and then we'll just head into a delay. But I'm giving this one to DZG here, PoE.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that nobody wins. Neither team picked Poppy.
Fair enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. They're literally just going to go into a gray screen per PoE, and nobody wins this game. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and head into our spectate delay, and we'll be bringing you Game 3 of DZG Arcadia versus Crimson Legionaries to take the series.
If I wrote you
nights, broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, 'cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. You're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, bringing you Game 3 of DZG Arcadia vs. Crimson Legionaries, and immediately we are seeing this 5-man bum rush down here in the bot lane, and who that might be a very scary karma, as DZG has pulled this off 3 times in a row. The side of Crimson should know that something like this is coming. Tornado does miss, ward dropped, and it will be Fly, just able to walk this one out. No crazy flashes, no first blood going out here, but the side of Crimson not getting much out of it because I think the Viega already dropped their ward, started backing, and Fifth just sitting at a very awkward position here for the side of Crimson Legionaries. I don't understand why you sit under that tower there, POE, but maybe I'm just insane.
Maybe just a little bit.
Potentially. So nothing too crazy coming out of the draft. We do see that Chisa does have the access to the Ghost, the teleport there in the top lane. So really wanting to run down Fifth and kind of do the same thing that he did with the Trenemir in Game 1. Wants to probably run that back here in... I'm sorry, that he did it in Game 2. Wants to run that back here in Game 3, and it was a good look for him, so I can completely understand why he'll want to do it. So things kind of business as usual here, as we're seeing the red start here from the side of Crimson Legionaries, red start there from the side of DZG, and I really don't anticipate much happening in this lane state. There shouldn't be any. Just kidding. As Mags and Rezi sitting here waiting in that bush. A lot of damage going out there onto the Karma. Just chugging some potions. Nothing too big gain there, except for a pretty good tempo lead for the side of DZG's bot lane. And it will be a cold start here coming out of Rezi's Vayne PoE.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to watch what happens here. I think Resi and Mags make a good team. I would love to hear their comms to see like what exactly goes on in their heads.
Yeah, certainly. And now we are just kind of chilling here, and I wish I could see the strike. These damn spectate bugs get me every single time. Um, and yeah, like I said, I shouldn't expect to see too much coming out here. No flashes were burned from the side of Crimson Legionary, so I think First Blood is going to happen a little bit later. It's going to really come off the back of the gank. Um, it's Hextech when the symbol doesn't show. Got it. Thank you for letting me know. So it will be a Hextech Drake for the first Drake here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a Hextech map this series, PoE. Pretty sad about that.
I'm disappointed. A little disappointed myself. You know, it happens. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Right. Well, this should be Kanye's map to do with as he pleases. Both bot and top are pushed in, and it looks like it's just going to be Scuttle Warfare as he gets the top one, and Trundle probably walking down for this bot lane Scuttle, but I think that Kanye should get down here in time. He does have the tempo advantage on the jungle clear here, so maybe we'll see a little bit of death and glory over the Scuttle unless he just immediately goes for his Krugs. Definitely an option as well, but tell me a little bit about the jungle pathing and what you'd like to see done.
So it is a little interesting that Trundle has taken the time to do as many camps as Trundle has this early in the game.
Oh, yeah, another pause.
Yeah, pause here. But while we look at the pause, I think it is a little interesting that Trundle is opting to do as many camps as Trundle has done so far. I think it is more worth the Trundle's time to be as aggressive as possible and try to exert some pressure on the map, rather than taking the taking the camps here. I think that is more valuable for the Trundle than doing camps.
Sure. And, well, I mean, yes and no. Like, he should be able to set up well for one of these counter ganks, especially if he knows Viego's on the bot side of the map, because I imagine that Viego's going to be looking here for something. It's a little unfortunate that the Viego is coming in, and the wave bounced, so that's something that's kind of unfortunate for him in the timing, especially since top lane's still pushing, and he probably could have gotten something there. But we are having a little bit of the spectator lag issues coming into the stream now, just due to the fact that life sucks sometimes. But that's just how it be. With that being said, Viego's looking, but I don't think he's going to get anything of this. Mags is pretty low. Viego might look to play aggressively on it, but I don't think he will. And DZG just able to walk this one out. Now it will be GVG and Shadowclaw is now here walking down, but I think everything's just going to fizzle out here, and I don't think we're going to be getting too much out of this PoE.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be... I think both teams, after the last two games have gone by, are going to be a little cautious as to what they want to do moving forward. And that even means playing really safe in comparison to what we have seen from them previously.
Well, your buffer zone is gone, right? The buffer zone is gone, and both teams, you know, they're playing for keeps here, for sure. So now we gotta, you know, hopefully they don't play too safe, because I'd still love to see some action here. Kanye back in this bot lane here might be looking for something, but you don't really have a hook. You don't really have super solid ways to get in. But it will now be Viego looking aggressively, and like I said, there's no hard lockdown. And the chain or the tether or whatever the hell you want to call it coming up from Karma literally was just there for style points after the play had already fizzled out. So we're seeing some pings coming down here on the bot side of the map. Maybe they thought it was warded. But yeah, it's kind of just lane warfare here at the current state of the game.
I think if it's warfare, it's at least World War I and not World War II.
Yeah, for sure. Trench warfare is never fun, right? So, we are seeing Kanye posture here in the mid lane. GVG doesn't have access to a lot of mana. Might be able to get out of gravity field if he's engaged upon, but Kanye looking for it, and once again, just able to walk out. And same thing happens to the top lane. Shadow Claws walked up top, and Mordekaiser just walked out. So, there's not a lot of hard CC on either side. Actually, there's almost none. There's the Shockwave from Orianna, which is kind of hard CC. There's the Condemn from the Vayne, and there's the Jonathan. Other than that, there's no hard CC. And oh, sorry, the stun coming out from Kanye is hard CC as well. But like setup for gank potential, there's not a lot of it in the lane, so it should theoretically be only like over positional and overextending ganks that really are gonna be coming out here, and both teams are just able to really walk out of everything that's come. So unfortunately, we're getting a very boring early game, but I do think that the longer this goes, the better DZG should feel about it.
Agreed, especially with the Victor.
Yeah, if it stays on parity. Oh, not only the Victor, but a Vayne as well. Vayne's able to pop off, that's huge. But now Chisa looks forward aggressively, but it will be Kanye here to answer, and Ragnarok popped, and he's just able to theoretically walk out of this one, as Death Realm will not be able to grab that Olaf. But now that is something that Chisa needs to keep in mind if he ever steps up. Alright, but yeah, just once again, another play that they're just able to walk out of. He did pop the Ghost, but I think he popped it aggressively, and then just popped Ragnarok and ran out. So, it's just set up for a boring early game, with this farm advantage really going here into the pocket of Chisa. And since that gank came in the top side, DZG with the heads up play, Shadow Claw said, cool, thanks for the free Drake. That's going to be Infernal coming in here second. So no fun souls tonight, PoE. No fun souls tonight at all.
I think this is the most excitement that we're going to get. We're going to see the Death Realm come in, but it seems like, oh, Chisa playing it well.
Oh, no! He's going to get the return kill, you think,
oh,
but
no.
never mind. That must have been the healing coming in for the kill and really setting up Fifth to be able to survive that. And, you know, well played. You knew that the summoner, or you knew that the ultimate was down. Pop Death Realm, you get it. And I said we probably weren't going to see it, but now we're seeing Shadow Claws coming down here in the bot lane. Karma's good for the target, no longer has access to the flash. Max drops the exhaust, Rezi gets the Condemn, but will the follow-up damage be there? And it was not enough, as the Condemn did not set them up in an ideal situation. And once again, between Flash and just able to walking out, another gank just kind of fizzles. And it will be Viego on the top side of the map taking Rift here. But go ahead and break that one down for us, PoE. What do you think?
I think the important thing to consider here is that the lane states are kind of still neutral. The Mord has an advantage, and it works out for him now. And I think if he is able to consistently make trades like that, it's going to work out in the benefit of CRL, because they're never going to be concerned about the split push strat that they were worried about previously. But this doesn't mean that the neutral lane states are necessarily a good thing for them either, because if the Victor is able to scale in the late game, and so does the Vayne, none of this like passive and like consolidated play is going to be worth it for CRL.
Well, that was another kill going over here on the Chisa in the top lane, and you know, I said that I wasn't expecting to see too much, especially in this top lane, from Fifth. But they're playing it well, and Chisa being 0-2, this really hurts DZG's chances. Now we're seeing a little bit of trading patterns still going on here as they're trying to protect lates, I guess. This Herald is available, and it will be dropped. This should accelerate the gold lead in CRL's favor. Bot lane fight coming out here, but Condemn did not hit. Now damage being shifted onto Animantis. Put a little bit. One more auto will do it, and the 2v2 kill does go over to the side of DZG. Now they're still trying to defend this top side tower. Plates will be ticking, but there is no mana over here for the side of Shadow Claws. And I think this will just be CRL taking what they get in the top side and then backing off. Bot lane answering back is huge because it does shore up some of that gold deficit we expected to see out of that play. And yeah, kind of just going to be waiting for the next one here, PoE.
Yep, I think that's going to be a lot of what this game is waiting for items, waiting for these very short windows of attack. And until they happen, I mean, there's something, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, 100%. But now it's going to be really up to Chisa to figure out how he wants to navigate this deficit here in the top lane. He needs to be respectful. He did go with the Hex Drinker first item, which I think is the right call to make here. But now, you know, you can't just run at them, especially with how much attention Kanye has been putting in this top side of the map. But as I say it, he decided to just go against all logic and reason and all in on this trade.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's just winning it.
you don't win that. And he popped the Ragnarok, which takes him out of the Death Realm, but he didn't stand on the minions. So Mordekaiser is still able to get the isolation damage on that. Oh no, Mags. The tether does connect. The tether will be enough as Animantis does take down Magfreeze in the bot lane. So just all around the map right now, DZG setting into a deficit, and they need to play respectful. Chisa, like I was saying, you need to stand in your minion weight. You can't get that isolated Q. It's gonna hurt. And, you know, reevaluate your strengths. Now, Mags, I'm not gonna blame too much, literally just stood in the bush and didn't know that they either had vision or just knew that Mags was in that bush. But, you know, for Chisa, slow down, man. Slow down. 100%. Alright, now we're seeing some fighting here as now Shadow Claws is on top of Slide Torque, gonna be smacking him with the club, and that will be enough. Now Shadow Claws will fall. Not in time for the second Drake, though, as maybe Buckby could be the target here. But Shadow Claws, no, he will be looking for Buckby. Does not have the pillar available, so Buckby just able to walk this one out. And it will be DZG feeling pretty comfortable to theoretically get vision and control over this Drake here, as Kanye is now not going to look to all in on Shadow Claws here. Mags is available. But yeah, we should see some action around this Drake here, PoE, especially now that Chisa and Fifth do not feel like being in the top. Now it'll be GVG forced to flash out here, drops the Chaos Storm onto the heads of Kanye and Fifth. Damage following up now, but it will not be enough, as that was a flash coming out from Fifth. DZG recalling their mid laner, who does have access to teleport, now setting their sights on this drag, but it will be a 5v5. Now, if the side of CRL is smart, they will pull the trigger on this before the Victor is able to teleport in, but he does channel the teleport. Not an ideal position, as he will be on a flank location here. No access to the ultimate. Now, quick ultimate check. Viego nor Fifth have access to their ultimates, whereas the side of DZG looking healthier in that department. That is going to be a big flank coming in from the side of GVG, who is now getting saddled by Kanye. Buckby will be falling to Shadow Claws. Torque will now fall to Chisa, as that will be 3 members of CRL dying to none of the members of DZG. They will pick up this Drake, and that was the fight DZG needed to get back into this game. PoE, break that down for me, please.
So the thing is that the scaling damage from the side of DZG with the completed loot-ins, as well as the Tiamat completed by the Trundle, have really worked out, as well as the ability for DZG to generate space for themselves and deal the damage necessary to close out this dragon fight in a way that was good for them. Which is very commendable, considering that the early deficits generated by the side of against DZG.
Certainly. And there was so much burn there prior to it. Viego tried to do everything they could to get onto GVG, and it just wasn't enough. And once that fizzled out, the Death Realm was still unavailable, and without those 2 tools, you don't really get the reliable resets. You don't get the ability to isolate and pull somebody that you want out of the fight. And the Victor, GVG on the Victor really coming up huge. Oh no, Resi needs to run this one out. Side Torque is trying to look for some damage trade back. Does hit the Condemn, will get some of the follow-up, and the tower will now shift, but it will not be enough, as I think that was the Ignite coming out. They thought maybe they could bring the Ezreal in to Arcane Shift and get some of the damage, but oh man, that was really close. And both Resi almost dying, and then also Sly almost dying. That minion being the real MVP there for the side of Sly Torque. But yeah, those ultimates being unavailable there for the dragon fight was just absolutely massive for the side of DZG, and GVG getting off that flank was insane, and just allowed all the members of DZG to just really run whoever they wanted down. So fantastically played. If they're able to play those team fights like that, I say keep trying to look for team fights. As now we see the members of CRL shifting their sights onto the Herald, but it will be DZG now with a flash from Mags, and now it will be Buckby being the target. Great shockwave out there to deny some of it. Going cold. Oh, that is what we want to see, but will it be enough? And
Very
it will
interesting.
be Shadow. Interesting with a capital INT indeed there, Tony, as they do not get that kill, and it will be Buckby getting a shutdown onto the side of Shadow.
So it's very interesting how that played out, considering the Trundle Pillar into the Orianna ulti. Fun interaction for the side of CRL, and very unfortunate. Oh my god, these big damages coming in from the Victor, but he's all alone in a combat zone with no one to call for help.
Well, he will be forced to flash there, but flash will not be enough as Kanye does get that kill. Kanye doing his best Victor cosplay now will shift their attention to the mid lane. And this mid lane tower is very low. 4 members on the side of CRL here are going to be able to probably knock this down. But once again, they do not have wave clear. And the side of DZG not really having it either. So it's just going to fizzle out. They're going to be looking for something else. As no Herald available at the moment, as I do believe it was used earlier. So, DZG really need to be respectful of some of these flank opportunities, or just positioning, right? And that was kind of the death story in game 1 was position, position, position. So it's really going to be up to them to identify where they want to play around this map, what avenues they need to look for. And I thought they had a really good look there onto Buckbeat, but they just needed to say, hey, you know what? We got the ultimate, we couldn't get the kill, we got the stopwatch, cool, and back off. But greed, man, is.
I mean, I would have made that
way.
play. Yeah, I would have made that play 12 times out of 10. Honestly, I can't blame, Shadow Claws for doing that because I would have done the exact same thing. It's greedy, but sometimes it gets the better of us.
Absolutely, but that will be mid tower falling. 2K gold advantage sitting in the pocket now of the side of CRL. Drake coming up third. Third Drake coming up in a minute. And if DZG are able to get that, that will put them in a position for Soul Point. And Ocean Soul on this team is pretty scary here, PoE.
Yeah, the Ocean Soul would be very bad for the Olaf Trundle here. Well, good for the Olaf Trundle, bad for the side of CRL. Because the fact is that, they're already going to be healing a lot, and they're going to have the additional shielding from the side, from the Janna, on top of any sustain items or abilities that they're going to have naturally.
Absolutely, the Conqueror Olaf with his W available is going to be so much healing, and they really need him to be in this game. Honestly, he needs to be able to run down the targets that he needs to run down, probably Buckbeat, because it's been like a staple of League of Legends, right? Shockwave is a game changing. Now there's so many more game changing ultimates in this game since the heyday of Orianna.
There's so many.
Yeah, but it's still true, right? Orianna is able to do so much with that Shockwave and absolutely change the momentum of an entire game with one good ult. So if he's able to deny Buckbeat, that's going to be fantastic. And now I think Shisa is going to be in the between a rock and a hard place. Kanye is now shifting his focus onto him. The rest of the members of CRL looking to DZG now have the tempo. The Shockwave I was talking about as it hits 3 members of DZG. Max now being targeted, but will be forced to go golden here as now Resi is the target. It's a good commitment to the wall. Max is looking to walk it out, but it will not be enough. 2 members of DZG, both the jungle and the support falling here, as it will be DZG now looking at a very bad spot. He will be taken down by the Karma. Now Vayne falls. 4 members of DZG are now dead. Shisa being the only one alive, as you have to imagine that either CRL will be taking this mid lane tower or this Drake, but that was their fight. Orianna doing absolute massive work in that play there. PoE. Break that down, please.
So the biggest thing was the Orianna being able to land the Shockwave. We talked about the inability for Orianna to have a carry package, like a carrier for this package, but despite that fact, they didn't really care. They were able to land it. They were able to make the disrupt as big as possible, and it's there's nothing more that you can ask from them in that situation.
And you bring up a very interesting point, and I think it really reinforces what I said earlier. Location, 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 position, 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 right? And if Orianna is able, without a delivery system, to be able to place that ball wherever she wants and hit 3 members still, DZG need to reevaluate their footwork here, because those are damning moments. Really. Orianna just did so much damage, was able to set things up in the right manner, and now sitting at a 4K gold lead, and some of these carries being absolutely strong. Diego sitting 4-1. Mordekaiser sitting at 3-0. It's gonna be an uphill battle now for DZG. They need to look for another fight like they had around that second Drake opportunity, and that's really what they need. They need to be able to deny something.
While I do think that DZG needs to look for another fight, I do agree and disagree, because the fact is now DZG is almost down 4K gold. They're down you know, they're up a Drake, but that Drake doesn't mean a whole lot. We have the Divine Sunderer and the Riftmaker on the Mordekaiser and the Ezreal, not the Ezreal, but the Viego. And so we're even going to see a completed tier from the Ezreal. So CRL is only getting stronger and stronger in this scenario.
Certainly, and DZG just also need to make sure that they're getting the gold where it counts. So into the Victor, one to the Vayne. They're still able to win through those two champions for sure if they're able to get ahead. But right now, it looks like they're just bleeding out resources a little bit. They might be making a play on Buckby as Orianna. They're looking for it, but I think once again, just Buckby is able to walk this one out here.
Buckby has definitely learned his lesson from the game 2, and is definitely playing a lot more appropriately for what
Well,
is
it might
going
not be
on.
enough. That was a big shockwave, but Condemn did hit. Buckby now going to be ticking down, does not have access to the golden stopwatch, but now it will be all Death Realm coming out on the Resi, and Fifth will be getting this kill, and that will be Kanye going on a rampage here with, you know, doing their Vayne cosplay. Sorry, so much information to take in. But yeah, so a 1-for-1 trade. They did get teleport out, but the fact that they didn't get that tower, I think CRL needs to feel pretty happy about that.
I mean, when you're up as much as you are, and you and your two solo carries with the Mord and Viego are as fed as they are, you definitely have reason to be excited.
Well, with the play happening on the top side of the map, they instantly start their attention to the Nash. But teleport's coming out here now should mean that DZG want to contest this, and members of CRL, I think, are just going to walk this one out. But it might be DZG instead focusing their attention onto the Nash, and they opt not to. They do not have access to the Vayne. Silverbolt's really needed to be able to take that objective quickly. And Chisa just getting poked out here in the mid lane, and I think maybe we'll have a fight here as they're barreling down this mid lane. They're looking for Buckby. A lot of damage going out here now. Shockwave does connect onto just two members this time, but it will be Buckby falling. Chisa getting the kill. Condemn pushes Karma, I think, back, and it will be DZG probably taking this to the tower. And then immediately after, I imagine they go for that Nash, potentially. But no, I think they're just going to back up, spend their gold, as Rezi taking a lot of damage from that Ezreal. He was sitting very comfortably on just that Sunder. When they finish that tier item, that Ezreal is going to do a metric load of damage here, PoE.
Oh, I mean, more than a metric. I think no one is going to be able to deal with the Mord. He is going to be an absolute monster in this lane, and there's nothing that they can do about it. It's really, really painful.
Well, I don't think anybody can 1v1 them. They were hoping that maybe Chisa would be able to answer the Mordekaiser in most situations, but with the early game going the way that it did, Fifth is just unkillable in a 1v1 situation. Now, we do see Vayne sitting USS, which I think is the right move here for the side of DZG, but that's 1,300 gold that Vayne is now set back, had to pay that QSS tax, and fourth Drake is spawning. I have to imagine this is going over to the pockets of CRL here, Dewey.
I would say that you're correct, and I think while we both talked about the benefits of DZG getting these Ocean Drakes, it is also like not a bad thing for the side of CRL with the Mordekaiser and the Viego, who are both extremely fed right now.
Well, I think we're going to see another 5v5 situation.
Very unfortunate. The Ezreal pops flash to get out of that pit. We're seeing them dance around, but it's kind of back and forth as to what's going to happen here.
Well,
no
ulti.
Oh my god!
He's shut down! Vayne getting the shutdown now. They're setting their attention. They're splitting a little bit here, but I think they're going to soak this on this Drake here as the rest of the members of CRL look. The 3-man shockwave is not enough as there's no follow-up. Kanye is next on the chopping block. He does get taken out by Victor. That is a lot of shutdown gold going over into the pockets of DZG.
Oh my god, Jake Olaf.
He's Ragnarok. He's running down Karma. Side torque. Yeah, they will fall. And they do. Buckby now on the chopping block as well. 4 members of CRL do fall. DZG with a 4 kill sweep. Now we'll be focusing onto this match. DZG, that's what you needed. We love to see it. And now they should be back in the driver's seat. They're in the driver's seat gold-wise, and they should have the tempo coming off this Nash PoE. That was incredible.
That was not the direction in which I saw this fight going. And I really was expecting the Mordekaiser to really be a major impact there, absolutely separate a key player from the side of DZG out by himself, and come out with big stats. But we did not see that, and now we see that the Olaf has a massive shutdown, like, available.
That whole entire play rests upon the shoulders of Vip. He stepped forward, he got locked up, and he never even popped the Death Realm to try to take somebody out. And even if he had, if he chose the Vayne, QSS. If he chose Chisa, then, you know, he's just able to ult out of it. So I think he should have done something there, ulted anybody to give his team some time to posture around and maybe save him. But with him going down, he was a lot of their threat. And he just literally walked forward and died for his sins. And DZG, like, able to turn around so much tempo off that. If this game goes in the pocket of DZG, that's the play you need to look at. And that's the play that you go, yep, that's where it turned. That's where CRL lost the game. But we still got a lot of time left in this game. We still haven't even really cracked any of the second-tier towers, with the exception of the mid lane one against DZG. So it's still way too early to tell, but DZG, that is what you needed. That is 100% what you needed here, PoE.
That's enough. That's more than what you needed, really. Now you have the potential to actually win the game off of that play.
Well, DZG now posturing heavily here in the mid lane. There isn't really too much of an answer here, as there's not really much of an engage potential, but it will be Kanye actually just getting nuked down. Max picking up the kill there. I think with an auto attack, but it will be Fifth now ulting and instantly QSS. That is what you want to see. DZG Fifth is now trying to get as much damage as he can on Max, but it will not be enough. Resi with another kill. Side Torque probably on the chopping block next. As Shadow Claws and Resi run him down. Condemn does not connect because that is not a wall if you're the blue team. And Cheetah is sitting here on the top lane taking towers. DZG just expanding this gold lead in fashionable fashion. Shockwave does connect. Resi is going to be the target there, but I think they'll be able to just tumble out. DZG maybe trying to look around and do something, as we do see GVG on the bot side just split pushing. They're just running 1-3-1, and it's looking so casual as they're doing it. Chisa is now breaking into the base, and it's the same thing happening on the side for GVG in the bot lane. And DZG, 3-member strong in this mid lane, just smacking the base. So DZG will look to pick up an inhibitor, as Chisa is trying to fight, I think, Viego there in the top lane. Without Mordekaiser alive, DZG have no fear. They take the mid lane inhibitor. They almost take the top lane tower, or base tower. I think they almost take the bot lane base tower. DZG expand their gold lead to 5k in true fashion.
This is definitely working out for the side of DZG. You're now on Soul Point threat. You open up the mid inhib, and you've closed out a lot of the towers that you hadn't been able to get for quite some time. And now you're sitting pretty. You have the gold advantage now, and not by like a small amount either.
Right. Well, now we talked about the pressure of the Drake, and I think CRL really need to contest this third Drake. If they give this Ocean over for free, the Ocean Soul over for free, then it should literally just be nail in the coffin for DZG to win this game. The members that they needed to survive and win are already surviving and winning in these fights that we're seeing. So compounded with an Ocean Soul, like that's going to be really hard for the side of CRL to handle. And we only see one instance of Grievous Wounds. I'm sorry, I take that back. Karma has Oblivion as well, but none of it's tier 2. And already they're dealing with the healing here from the side of DZG. Now Kane does get knocked up. Shadow Claw is looking to immediately press him out, and it will be GVG who gets the kill. Fifth sitting on top of GVG, who does not have access.
That is one fast Victor.
Oh yeah, like, Victor is absolutely looking, and he didn't even have to burn stopwatch. Fifth comes out of Death Realm, and Fifth gets blown up. Dragon spawning in 3 seconds. DZG gets this Drake. This is DZG's game to win. It is just a matter of time now. As I said it earlier, I said it around that first team fight that went boom. DZG, you're playing these team fights well. You continue to play these team fights well. You win the game. And the last 2 times that we've had the look, I'm sorry, 3 times I'll say. The last time, 3 times that we saw these looks at DZG in these team fights, it's come up in their favor. And that is how they're winning this game, 100%. Now, DZG wanting to pressure again. They should be going for a potential 1-4 here. And kind of just chilling, kind of just pressuring this bot lane tower. I'm sorry, inhib, as they just took the tower. And not sure what they want to do, whether they want to back. Resilient is backing here on this Vayne, so I think they just fizzle out, spend their gold, and come barreling into this space here. PoE.
I mean, there's not much to do else without like risking your lead. Granted, you have Cloud. I mean, Ocean Drake. So you can push a little bit more, but it's not necessarily like gonna work out as good for you if the longer you stay. And the more you stay, the more risk that you have for being punished.
Certainly. And I think that DZG should feel comfortable enough to just fight around the Nash. It's coming up in 45 seconds. You get kills, you're able to take that objective and just run up to the base, or maybe you just ace them there. Like, that would be fun too. Actually, I don't even know if we've seen a full ace this series.
That's a good point, actually. I don't think we have either.
I think every time we've come close, it was like somebody living. Like, game 1, like, Chisa lived when everybody else died, and this game, Chisa was the only one to survive when everybody else died, so it's, I don't think we've seen a full-on ace in this series. I might be wrong. So if somebody saw one, please correct me, but it's just an interesting metric, a 3-game series, LAC. But, yeah, Scuttle gonna fall here, Nash spawning up soon. DZG actually sent GVG down in the bot lane. He has access to the teleport, and the waves are in their favor. So I think DZG here should feel comfortable taking all the time in the world that they need. If they get poked, congratulations, they have Oceans. They just heal it back. And that will be Victor. Should theoretically be able to get this bot lane in him. But it will be the ultimate coming out here from Fifth onto Shadow Claws now, as Fifth and Shadow Claws will be duking it out. Shadow Claws coming out.
I don't think Shadow Claws loses this.
He doesn't. And oh my god, that is the massive shockwave. Hits 4 members, but will it be enough? Kanye is now in the backline hitting Resilient, but Resilient being able to put on his dancing shoes and getting away. And Amantis trying to get the damage out here onto Resilient, but I think that it's going to be close, and it was not enough. The follow-up members from DZG are there, and Kanye, it should be the next target for DZG. Forced all down, but it will not be enough. Side Torque now being run down, forced to flash out. Tether does not actually connect, and it will be Shadow Claws just running this Karma down. GVG is in the base. DZG running into the base. That's going to be Nexus Towers falling. That is going to be DZG taking this series. And once again, PoE, we still didn't get our ace, as Slide Torque does survive. But this will be DZG coming back with a reverse sweep in this series and looking fantastic doing.
Once again, the DZG, the DZG normal strategy, absolutely get the enemy team's confidence high in the sky, and then we reverse sweep the enemy team. It's a psychological bait that we do. We want them to think that they're gonna absolutely dominate the next game, and then we just like psychologically destroy them game 2, and then they don't have the same tempo that we have mentally going into game 3.
Well, it's a great way to give the organization owners some fucking anxiety, PoE. But you know what? I take the dubs where I can get them. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw a great series out of Arcadia tonight. I'm so excited to see this team rolling and doing their things. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to call it a night here. Be sure to catch us tomorrow night, as I'm joined with Nebel, Neebs, or whatever the hell you
the other really handsome caster and former jungler.
Yeah, I will be joined by him tomorrow night, as we will be bringing you DZG Elysium. So, be sure to join us there tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out, and we'll catch you tomorrow.